Hello, everybody. It is Colin, half of Talking Ball. Jose is currently busy, but he will be here before the show is over. Guys, I just figured after what was kind of a bummer day to be a Spurs fan yesterday, we would try to just get right back on the happy horse, get everybody excited again by having a wonderful, wonderful group of guests today for the show. I'm going to bring them in one by one so you get to say hello to everybody. First, joining us for the first time in a long time, we've got Leo from Mile High Hotspur. What is up, Leo? How's it going, buddy?
Big up, my homie. How you doing, bro?
Living the dream.
Yeah.
Could be better if yesterday had gone better, but it's football for you. And speaking of football, we've got two other big time football fans in the house today. First, we've got returning to the show. Her first time on the show was yesterday. Returning already, she must not have hated us. It's Ash. What's up, Ash?
Hi everyone. Hi Leo. Nice to meet you.
You too.
Hi Colin.
Oh yeah. Hi there. I didn't know that you two hadn't met. My fault. So Leo, Ash, Leo. Nice to have formally introduced you guys.
Of course.
And then last but definitely not least, we've got the Queen, Miss Ellie. What is up, Ellie? How are you doing today? Oh, you're muted now, Ellie. It's just been we just had lots of. There we go. Well, hey, it's really nice to have you here, Ellie.
Yeah, lovely to be with these lovely people today, Ash and Theo and yourself, Colin. I'm looking forward to the show. Obviously, it was a thinker of a result yesterday, but we'll get to that, won't we?
We absolutely will. Dang, we've got a lot of people in the house already. Bobby K showed up to say hey and good morning to everybody. Big love to Bobby K. And then we got Daniel E saying we all knew beginning of the season that this was a building season for Ange, but we are allowed to still say when he made a mistake. And I'm finding out now Lo Celso was not tired. Hold on, we'll get to that in a second, of course. And Daniel's saying here he took Lo Celso off for skip for tactical reasons when we were trying to find a way to goal. I'm sorry, that sub makes no sense, mate. We'll definitely get to that. Eltel Cockerell, that's Jose for everybody that doesn't know, is saying to go ahead and subscribe and smash the like on both channels. We're doing a dual stream, both on the Eltel Cockerell channel and Talking Ball. So make sure you've liked and subscribed to both. Adrian Sroka's in the building. Big up, Adrian. I bet he's got a robe on. What do you guys think? Think he's wearing his robe?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Definitely.
And then Rakesh is here. Bro, so sad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Us too.
Aww.
And then Scott M in the house. Big up, Scott. Nice to see you, dude. Been a while. So yeah, I just basically wanted to say yes, it is a sad day, sad result. We're all sad, but I thought I would get a group of fun, happy people together, and we could just talk about the match. Ellie, you gave away your ticket. So you didn't have to go.
My nephew. Yeah.
Gotcha.
In a way, it would have been a late one for me, so I would have gone still. But my nephew, it was his birthday, so I gave him it as a present. But I'm worried about Scott M not saying hello to the ladies as well. Come on, Scott.
I think it might have just been when only Leo and I were on the screen. No, not at all. But you guys, again, as usual, I just wanted to say welcome one and all to Talking Ball. We appreciate everybody joining in and watching the show today. And I'll put the ticker down there. It's basically just saying we're one big Spurs family, so we got to be good to each other, guys.
It's true.
But yeah. So we'll kind of go around in a circle, and I'll just get kind of like little first impressions, I guess, or whatever you want to say, maybe like a sentence or two about the match. And we'll dig in a little more in depth, as the show goes on. But Leo, we'll start with you. You just get to be the one right next to me, so you have to go first. If you had to sum the game up in a sentence or two, what would you say?
Well, just I'm bummed out about the result. It reminded me a lot of Spurs teams in the past that I don't want to see anymore. And so to sum it all into a couple of words, I would just say maybe revert to form that we've known. You know what I mean? Basically, we kind of just like hit a default and went back to default settings, if you will, homie.
Yeah. No.
Feels like
I can't really argue with that exactly, and it's not the first time this season that we've said that. But So we'll jump down to Ash. What about you, Ash? If you had to sum the matchup in a sentence or two, what would you say?
Yeah, I think we've become the team of one half. It really sucks, but we can only play one good half in any game.
Yeah.
So that really sucked. The minute Richarlison missed his goal, I knew we were gonna lose. Like I just knew it. And yeah, I'm so unhappy. I was grading papers earlier, and everyone was getting C's and D's and F's, and then I realized it's not their fault. It's Spurs.
Oh my! It's the universe. It's the universe right now. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
That is interesting what you say about the team of one half, because that's another thing I wanted to speak about. But real quick, Ellie, I just want to get your opinions. Quick opinion on the match yesterday.
Just to sum it up, we huffed and we puffed, but we didn't blow West Ham's house down, did we?
That's right.
You know, it was a lot of ticky-tacky football, no real penetration as such. But
Ooh.
the last pass, that's what I mean by the penetration. You know, when you need to put that pass in to create a fantastic shooting opportunity or a chance at the back post, nothing like that. We were just too Lamella-ish, really. You know, holding on to the ball too long and not letting it go. So we did huff and puff, but we didn't blow their house down.
Exactly.
But their defence was very good, I must admit. You must give kudos to their defence.
Yeah, Kurt Zuma. I wish he would just go away. I really don't like that guy. But anyway,
Yeah.
I almost said some mean stuff about him and cats, but I feel like he's had enough of that probably. Actually, you know what? That dude kicks a cat. No, screw him. I still don't like him. Go kick another cat, idiot. But yeah, so again, Bobby says, just a quick pop in and say hi and hit that like button. Have to hop in the subway now. Be safe, Bobby K. Big love, buddy.
Yeah, be safe, brother. Much love, my homie.
Yeah.
Hey, Colin, can I
Bobby
just
K.
I just want to chime in real quick and say, bro, the thing that makes our loss worse, it makes it even like a worse feeling, dude, is the teams around us dropped points. And we didn't capitalize on that. We could have put maybe a gap between ourselves and teams below us, or even caught up a little bit to other teams, but we didn't capitalize on that. And that's what makes me feel like we reverted to form, right? Because we didn't capitalize the moment.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Ladies, do you agree with Leo on that one?
Yeah, I do agree that we didn't capitalize. Also, that now we're level on points with United, and what does that say about us? So, it's so we have to hold that. It's really sad but true.
Yeah. I think what it says about us is that Manchester United had injuries early doors, and we picked up injuries and suspensions, and it set us back. And we have to find our inner strength to get ourselves over the line.
Yeah.
Because we can't carry on losing, because we're going to go on a downward trajectory down the table, and it's all that good work that we did early doors is going to be unravelled.
Yeah.
I know it's a learning curve at the moment, and we're giving Ange Postecoglou a little bit of leeway, but I don't personally like what's happening with all the losses, and it's a downer because it makes you feel depressed. And you don't want to be feeling depressed.
Yeah. No, not at all. And it had been so good. I mean, being a Spurs fan had me on such a high all season. We'd started out so well. Only one other better start to the season ever, or something like that. I'm gonna say now we're really lucky that we amassed those points early in the season. It gets us a nice kind of cushion now, because I think if you had said to us at the beginning of the season, hey, we're going to be hovering around 5th, 6th. It's Postecoglou's first season. I think we all would have taken it. But I think that the beginning of the season where we were doing so well, picking up points left, right, and center, I think that makes this all hurt a lot worse than it would have normally. Because, at the beginning of the season, would you guys have taken 5th or 6th?
Of course.
Ellie?
Yeah, of course I would. And another point I would like to make is that people say you can only beat the team in front of you, right? And we've played some low teams after we beat the low teams. So it's not as if we were playing anybody of great credibility, like Wolves and West Ham. They're just mid-table teams. So that's what we were playing, and we were beating those teams with our first 11. And where we've struggled is because we've lost players, and very key players as well. Because Van de Ven was awesome for us, and so was Maddison, and we've lost the creativity and goals that Maddison was giving us, and he was providing goals for other people. And then we got VDV, who had such a brilliant partnership with Romero, and we've lost that combination as well, which is a massive loss.
Yeah, 100%. I think everybody, I don't want to say was sleeping on Van de Ven, because trust me, God, we all knew and know he's important, but I think he was saving our backs a lot. I think he was saving us a lot of times per match with his pace. And since we don't have anybody in the team nearly that pacey anymore, it's hurting us. When players get in behind, they're through. I mean, when Van de Ven was in, there was a chance that he might just make up half the pitch and somehow get there for the tackle last second. But none of the guys we've got in there now are capable of doing that, unfortunately. So that's hurting for sure. A question that real quick, everybody, please make sure that you sub over to the channels of these wonderful people that I have as my guest today. Ellie, you can catch her on Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs. There is the link there. And then Leo, right here, Mile High Hotspur 1882. Please give Leo a sub as well. And then Ash still doesn't have a channel yet, but we're on it. She's gonna have one someday.
Soon.
And we'll get her on there, and we'll get everybody subbed over there as well. So thank you everybody for tuning in. And just want to go through a couple more comments. One thing on this show is we try to make sure we get through, if not all the comments, like as many of them as we can. So we have Daniel's comment back here about Lo Celso and Skip, Lo Celso coming off for tactical reasons. And then Scott here saying, yeah, terrible move if it was tactical. Only way it made sense was to rest Gio, or if he was not fit for a full game. Have you guys heard anything about that? So whenever we lose, I kind of try to hide from things for like a day or two. So I haven't actually heard much about this. Leo, Ash, Ellie, have you heard anything about if
just what other YouTubers are saying, that he wasn't tired, that they reported that he wasn't tired. It was purely a tactical decision, but I just don't see any sense in it, because Lo Celso can score, he can create a few things for us. He was quite lively in that first half. He was picking up good pockets of space. He had a very good shot that was unfortunately saved by Fabianski.
He's been a thorn in our side for years.
I don't like that guy.
No, he always has a worldie against us. Always.
Very true. And just it didn't make any sense. That's the only criticism I could say. And maybe, Bissouma, give him a G up. As a mentor of people in my past years, I think he does need a bit of a G up, because in that first half he wasn't driving through. He wasn't playing badly, just put it that way, but he wasn't normal Bissouma that we're used to.
Yeah, Bissouma has seemed to have fallen off a bit. First few games of the season, he looked wonderful. We were like, wow, Bissouma's unlocked. We finally get to see what he can do without Conte's shackles on him.
Right.
But yeah, it doesn't seem like he's kept that up at all. In fact, I'm not even sure if he's a starting midfielder for us with everybody healthy at this point.
I honestly think perhaps. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Ash. Go ahead, go.
Ash.
So I actually think that Skip for Bissouma would have been a much better sub than Skip for Lo Celso. But I do think I understood Ange's post-match comments differently when he said that it was a tactical change, because after he said he did say they were not tired, because I think he just didn't want it to sound like they're not match fit or something. But he did say after that he want something. I don't remember the exact quote, but something along the lines of they needed more energy, or he needed more energy in the midfield, or fuel in something like that. So clearly that suggested to me that he felt that the midfield was slowing down and he needed to inject something into it. So that's how I understood it. But whether you would see that as a tactical change or just bringing fresh legs on, that's up for debate.
Yeah.
I kind of want to even take it before we made substitutions as far as like the lineup goes. I think maybe he might have gotten it wrong with the lineup, in my opinion. Ellie, we kind of talked about this earlier. I don't know why he switched things up. We had a good
Yeah.
lineup. Unless your
Agreed.
players are really, really versatile, where they can actually, like Kulusevski, for example, we were playing him more centrally in these last couple of games, and then he goes back out to the right, right?
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere, he goes back to the right when he's been playing centrally. I don't know about you guys, but has he not been playing really well centrally for us?
I think
Yeah.
he's
In
looked
my
better
opinion,
centrally than on the
Yeah.
right.
he's
Yeah.
looked better.
Yeah.
So then you move him off to the side and put Johnson on the other side, which whatever, that's fine. But I don't understand that. And then put in Pierre. I'm sorry, Ellie. Like I told you earlier, I know
Yeah.
how much you love Hoy
Yeah.
Pierre, but I think he shouldn't have started yesterday. And I think that's
Yeah.
where Ange may have gone wrong. Again, I don't see these guys practicing. I don't see their training. But I don't think Højbjerg or even Kulu is that versatile to be able to switch up from game to game or even mid-game, from Kulu going out on the right to coming through the middle. I don't see him that versatile enough to be able to play that type of role. And a lot of our players are one-dimensional. They're not that versatile to be able to do that to begin with.
Yeah.
Well, and we see Kulu drift centrally during the match. I mean, that's the only time he ever really finds
So
a ton of joy, from the
Yeah.
wing is when he drifts centrally. So yeah, I thought that was a shock as well.
when I seen that off the bat, you guys, I was like, wait, like why do that? Like why mess it up? Hill against City didn't offer us the best, but he did get that ball. He did do that little turn that got the ball over to I don't know who played that ball way over to Sonny on our first goal, right? I don't know who, but still he offers something, and which is why he played against City. And I would have thought, they let him loose against City. Try letting him loose against Moyes' West Ham team.
Yeah.
I just feel that like
I mean-
we kind of had a good thing going, and then for them to just kind of take 2 steps back by doing what they did, to me was definitely, I was like, whoa. So I think my opinion, the tactics were wrong going into the game, not during the game.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with you. Because I think what he thought, right, against City in that second half when Højbjerg came on, he shored up the thing, but that was like shoring it up and making us be more defensive minded and more solid. And then that allowed Kulu to do his thing, right? But in this game, you needed something else. You needed Kulu to dictate from the middle with Lo Celso linking up, because they're two technically really good players. But on the wing, he wasn't doing anything, Kulu. He was like he was playing that role for the first time, and he was like a lost boy. Everything he tried didn't come off. I know, and he was very frustrating, just like going in and then just passing it back and not taking his man on. And from the middle, when he was against City, he was pulling the strings. He was like, I gave him 10 out of 10 for that performance.
He was able to use his strength. Yeah, exactly.
It didn't make any sense.
He's able to use his right foot, which is what he's afraid of. I mean, it looks like he's
Yeah.
afraid to use his right foot on the wing, but when he plays centrally, it's more available. He's got a little bit more time to be able to make a pass with his right foot. And so if Kulu, to me, if he's going to be that one-trick pony, that one-dimensional pony, and teams are going to figure that out and put him in the middle. Exactly right, my homie. Put him in the middle.
What I noticed about Lo Celso as well, he's very, very left-footed.
And he's good on the wing, Ellie. Lo Celso is good on the wing.
Just put him on the wing, because he's so left-footed, and then play Johnson in that number 10 role with Kulu. If you don't, because Johnson, I think, because he's a right footer, I would have thought he would be best on the right, but people are telling me that when he's played on the right, he hasn't done well. But when I saw him against City on the right, he skinned Gvardiol, who's no slouch, and he left him for dead. You only need one moment like that to create a goal, And I just think he was lost on the left.
Honestly, in terms of team selection, why fix it if it ain't broke? Like, you can see that Kulu's playing really well in the number 10. Keep that going, keep that energy going. Also, if you're going to play him on the wing, just put the left footer on the left side and the right on the right. It makes no sense that Johnson then plays on the left and Kulu then plays on the right. My God, just switch them over. I don't understand why this is like so hard to grasp. It's why half the time he's not crossing, because he thinks over the ball too long. There were too many touches on the ball by all of our forwards, and I include Sunny in this. So I feel like everything needed to happen faster. Even our midfielders needed to pass the ball faster so that we don't get caught in an offside trap. So I just feel like everything was just it was either too frantic or it was too slow. There was no it wasn't disciplined. And I think that's what lets us down, because if it's frantic, then we only have the energy to do it for one half. And if it's too slow, then the ball gets the other team sort of recovers the ball and goes at us again. So we need to figure out the pace at which we're playing this game.
Absolutely, 100%, 100%. At the beginning of the match, we were really going out there strong. We were really speedy, zippy with our passes, and it did slow down. We've seen a couple of good comments in here that have kind of been talking about what I wanted to talk about. I was saying is that, and we've all been answering this a bit, but Postecoglou's tactics, or are the players to blame? Daniel E says here, when we give up a lead 5 games in a row, I'm sorry, that's a manager problem as well. He needs to fix it ASAP. My only argument with this is that we don't really have the players to do much other than what we're doing right now. You know what I mean? We're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, because it's like he's clearly trying things. He's clearly experimenting with things.
Yeah.
And
I think he's doing the best he can with. I think he's doing the best he can with what he has, Colin. Sorry to cut you off, bro, but I think he's not a magician, right? He's only going to be able to do what he can with what he has, and he's doing this with a lot of the players we don't want here, you guys.
I know. It's like when you've got a toolbox, right, and you lose your 2 sharpest tools out of that box. That toolbox is never going to be the same. It's never going to fix everything.
Yeah. You'll still get the job done on sometimes. You're still going to end up coming short when you don't. Yeah, exactly right. That's a good analogy.
You'll end up coming short more times than you're coming positive, and getting positive results. Yeah.
So it's Colin. Go ahead, Ashley. I'm sorry.
The truth is, we can criticize. There are things that Ange may have, small things that Ange may have gotten wrong with the team selection or with his in-game management, whatever. But the thing is, we aren't critical in a vacuum. There's others people, other stuff, opinions around us. So when we're critical of Ange, that becomes that first domino in that constant sort of manager race, that the thing that we've seen in Spurs for so long. And there's so many managers at Spurs that I have liked, that it starts with criticism every match, and then it becomes one thing and the other thing, and before you know it, they're gone. And whether it's Martin Yole or whether it's Harry Redknapp has had his own issues, but Martin Yole, Redknapp, Pochettino, now Postecoglou, we can keep doing, even Conte and Jose, even though I hated the way they played. So it just dominoes from there, and so our critical analysis becomes someone else's criticism to get rid of someone. And that's my problem with, I'd like to be objective and say, oh, Ange made this mistake, but I'm still backing Ange. But the problem is that the reason you have to be all in or all out is because if you're not, then people get onto the manager's back using your words.
Yeah, that's true.
Very true. Yeah.
Well, I think, with the Ange, right, I just want to say one more thing. Right, I think he uses more tough love than put your hand around the shoulder sort of management. He quite keeps aloof from the players that I've heard, right? And when I see him in training sessions, he's away from the crowd so that he can observe. So he's a very diligent manager, and he's a very diligent man, and he goes through life quite regimented, and he trusts what he's done in the past will come good. So I think he's stalwart in that role. But I think sometimes with certain players, like I've seen with Bissouma, I saw his body language, and I'm quite heavy on body language. He just doesn't look like he's interested. When he was coming out, I was watching him in particular, and he was very lethargic in his movement. He didn't seem like he was interested. He looked like a bit of a lost boy, really. And he played like that for a lot of the match, and that's why he was turfed off, because he wasn't the Bissouma that we all know. And I think somebody needs, if it's not Ange, somebody else in the club needs to take him aside and have a really lovely chat with him to get him on side again, because he's vital to us winning matches.
Yeah. He is important, very important. Maybe we need to get Mourinho back and just say, "Hey, Mourinho, we just need you for one talk. Say something about his brother. Do the rest. You know what to do here, sir."
Yeah.
No, but
Something about
really,
brothers,
no.
yeah. I'm seeing your
Basuma-
twin, Basuma. Your twin. I'm seeing your twin.
exactly. Are you Basuma or are you Basuma's brother?
We need you back, Basuma. We need you
Yeah.
back.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
really do. We really do.
Hey, Colin, I wanted to throw some numbers at you real quick, bro, just to kind of put this out there for the chat. So it may have been a mixture of both the tactics and the players, because how do we lose a game with 75% possession to 25% possession?
Yeah.
So that's not the manager's tactics. There have to be right for you to be able to have that much ball, right? You're creating 23 shots, but only 7 on target. The manager's not taking those shots. He's probably giving you the tactics to create those shots, but at the end of the day, he's not the one physically taking them shots, right? And our passing was, I think, 700 and something to like the 250s.
Yeah.
How are you not going to put something in the back of the sack? At that point, you guys, it's not Ange Postecoglou. Then that's on the players. So
yeah, I agree.
Collectively, it's an issue, It's some of it is the tactics, of course, the players. But like I said earlier, he's putting the players on that he sees are going to win the game. But at the same time, these players need to finish these chances. Richarlison had a sitter, bro, a good cross on Richarlison, and
it came to his head. It came right to his head. The only part of his body he can score with.
Exactly right. And so that's not Ange Postecoglou's fault right there, you guys, right?
No.
So,
but I also think that we should, if that's the way that man plays, we should be delivering more than one head height cross to him per match.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So that's
who needs to cross the ball at all.
Every striker misses chances, right? But the one that he missed was it was awful. But you give him 3 or 4 chances, he's bound to put one in. Yeah.
For sure. Beer Talk is in the house. Says morning, y'all.
Big up, Beer Talk.
Morning, Beer Talk. Good to have you. Good to have you, bud. And then we've got Jason Bell is in the house. I'm not sure. Yeah, Jason, what's up? Jason says, I think Postecoglou is still trying to learn who can play where and who is worth keeping in a real match. Training is never the same as a real match. And that's 100% true. Jason, you've really hit the nail on the head there. Yeah, very good point.
Well, and he said that when we lost to Fulham too. Remember?
In the cup.
He came out and said, "Look, I have to see what I have." I don't know. I'm paraphrasing his quotes here, but like it was something along the lines like, "I have to see what I have," and like that's what he did that game, right? And it did. I mean, it backfired obviously, but yeah, you're right. You have to give these players seat time in a real game to see how Skippy's going to handle the pressure in the box, to see how Royale's going to handle the pressure at center back. He's only got the experiment to figure out what he can and can't do. So, and this is the season to do that. Ange gets this season to be able to experiment, I would say, right?
We've got to have, as long as we finish top half, I really don't want to hear anybody calling for. I don't want to hear anybody calling for him out after the season. God, that would be annoying.
But they will do, Colin. They will do, because that's the nature of the beast.
Yeah. I just don't know what people want.
What I was going to say about training, right? So I was watching Brian Hill in training, and he looks absolutely like a star player. And then he gets on the pitch, and then it's like a different person running on the pitch, All right, he's clever at moving off the ball, and he's a tricky character. He's got that sort of flair in him. But when it comes to match days, he's falling over too much and getting knocked off the ball too much. And then there's Postecoglou's comments about who's best in training. And he noted that Ben Davies is one of the best trainers. But then when he comes on the pitch, he makes an awful error yesterday. So training's different from a match day, because match day, you're put under all sorts of pressures at given moments, and how you cope with those given moments make of the player. That's why Van de Ven, right? He doesn't make those errors because he's an astute player. He knows what to do in given situations. With Ben Davies, I don't like to dig him out, but yesterday he was god awful in those crucial moments.
Yeah. Well, Ben Davies he's no Van de Ven. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He's
That's true.
no Van de Ven, and that's I don't
I
think we
know.
and maybe we did. I personally thought that we would be able to handle having one of our starting defenders out and that we
Oh,
would
yeah.
look okay, but it's really not apparent. I mean, I guess Ash Phillips is his injury isn't helping anything either, because I firmly believe that we would be seeing him play
Yeah.
if it wasn't for him being injured. But yeah, I mean,
I do think Ben Davis looked worse because Udogi also had a bad game. I think
Fair
if
point, Ash.
that side
Yeah.
doesn't work, then it just makes everything look worse.
true.
And like that back pass reminded me of Eric Dyer's back pass. Do y'all remember that against Liverpool?
oh my god,
in-
yeah.
And I was just like, oh no, I really hope, because I have so much faith in Udogi. I love him as a player. I think he has a really
Yeah.
high ceiling. But like you can't do Eric Dyer type things on the pitch, because you'll lose the fans really, really fast.
Yeah, I thought Udogi going forward, he gave us a lot and he pressed very well and he won the ball high up. But defensively, that one mistake that he made a few other errors, but the one big mistake he made led to a goal. I know it was raining and he underhit the pass. So people were blaming Vicario, but what could he do in that situation? It was bobbling, it was sticking into the grass. And the only thing he could do was like punch it out. People said he should have caught it, but I don't know.
I will be honest though, that is one of his weaknesses, and I knew that before he came here, just because I'd watched a couple of videos. But that he punches the ball too often instead of catches it, and it often will then rebound into dangerous areas. So I knew that was one of his shortcomings before he joined, and I mean he's been doing it all season. He punches the ball, I would say, 80% of the time. And it usually, I mean, it hasn't really blown up in his face or anything, so that's good, except for yesterday. But hopefully he can start to, hang on to those. What's the point? First of all, Scott M is saying that he thinks it's kind of more of a lack of quality than a manager issue. Would like to see the same midfield we wanted to see, but then he says there would have been no one to play on the wing because Brian Hill is awful, he says, which I don't 100% agree with that part, but I agree with the rest of it, Scott.
He's awful. He's awful for about 70% of the match.
Yeah, and then he'll do one or two good things for sure.
Right,
and then what's the point?
He done a fantastic spin, didn't he, to let in Kulu? Yeah.
Exactly. And then one thing here too. What's the point? Showing us Brennan Johnson's kind of his goal and assist tally. Scored 18 goals and 10 assists for Forest in one season on the right wing, and then he put it here. Sorry, that the next season he's got 8 Premier League goals and 4 assists last season on the right wing.
Dropping.
And basically, yeah, Scott saying we don't have the players we need in the side. Even Basuma is questionable as a starter. We agree with that, I think.
Scott says that, but we had more than West Ham. We had more possession. We had more passes. We should have won the game.
A ton more possession and a ton more passes.
I don't buy into this. We had lack of quality because we've got more quality than West Ham. 100%.
The 2 players I was worried about against West Ham. Oh my God, Ash! One of the players you were worried about was quite dangerous. You were right about who is. Why can't I think of that fellow's name now?
Ward-Prowse? Souček?
No, was it Souček? Souček looks pretty good. I thought he played a good match, to be honest. Ward-Prowse, of course, was good.
From the start of the season. He's been silently good.
Yeah. See, it's you were right. You were right. I was worried about. I know Ash is smart. She knows her football for sure.
Yeah.
One of the things that I was going to say too was Jared Bowen. God, I hate that guy, man. He's a really good player. I think we missed out on one with him. I knew that we were in for him at one point.
Well, I think we took Jack Clark instead of Bowen. I think at that time it was they were kind of going for either or, and look how that turned out, man.
I bet Jack Clark was $5 million less pounds or something. You know what I mean? I bet there was a negligible amount of money that we decided to switch out on him for.
Yesterday I was torn on this one, bro. Remember when you did the keeper West Ham, and I told you that was a toughie, bro, because I know Bowen is. I mean, I hate to say it, but he's a lot more established than Kulusevski is in the Premier League. I know he might be a little bit older. I don't remember the age gap if there is any.
I think they're both the same. No, wait, there's about 3 years age difference.
Yeah, so I think Bowen might be a little bit older, but I mean, still, we've seen what he's done, which is why I mean it reflected on my choice. But look, he came and bit us in the butt, right? And
He
one
sure
thing,
did.
we became James Ward-Prowse's biggest. He scored the most goals against Tottenham than any other team, so that's another Tottenham
Yeah.
thing that that just goes to put the cherry on the top.
Yay.
Oh, no.
Right. What's the point though? It points out here that Salah already has 10 goals and 6 assists. With Kulu, it would take 2 seasons to get those numbers. He's not good enough.
Not necessarily. He
I was gonna say-
with us for 3 months and he scored 5 goals and 7 assists.
Exactly.
So that's not completely true. What's the point?
I agree that I'm sorry that Kulu is better than he's getting credit for, especially when you move him to the middle. And him and Salah could not be 2 more different players. You know
That's
what I mean?
true.
Their games are both built around different things. Salah is more of a goal scorer.
He
Kulu
plays
is
like
more.
a winger striker, doesn't he? Whereas Kulu plays as an out-and-out winger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And supporting
Kulu,
cast is a lot different as
Kulu
well.
does a lot more on defense. You know what I mean? Kulu does a lot more
Yeah.
on defense. But what's the point says if you want a hard worker on the right, he would choose Højbjerg. So you'd probably like that, Ellie. I wanted to get that one up there because I know that Højbjerg is your man.
But he's all right. But like,
I thought that he.
Højbjerg at the moment in this system, right? He can play it because he got a lot of digging out, but he was playing some really good balls as well.
Yeah, he was
He kept it
100%.
simple. He kept the ball moving, but I think most people would remember him pirouetting in the penalty area and falling
Oh
over
my
his
God.
feet. Oh
That
my
was
God.
hey people. I mean
What was
that
that
happens
about?
though. People fall over.
I told him
yeah.
to stay off the vodka.
I quite enjoyed that.
I mean, you're running at full speed. You're turning. I don't know. I just feel like that'll be
He just got
remembered
his
forever.
legs
But
twisted.
every player
Yeah.
falls over once or twice. I
He
mean,
played 2 bad balls and about 15 to 20 good balls that because I normally count them, but I couldn't be bothered yesterday. So I thought if he's starting, let's see what he can do. But who else have we got who can play that position? That Basuma plays a different role. He's more of a 6/8, isn't he? Basuma, he's in between.
Yeah.
Whereas Højbjerg, we play him more as a 6, but for Denmark, he plays
he's kind
more
of the
like an 8.
6/8. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he plays more forward and he's more effective. But it swings and roundabouts. With Højbjerg, I think he's better coming off the bench, though, I must admit.
Yeah, we can kind of
Yeah.
feel a game out if it's calling for Højbjerg, put him in
Yeah.
because not every match will. Yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
that one too. I agree with that one
Yeah,
too.
I think with Højbjerg, he didn't really do anything that wrong. It's just
No.
that he didn't offer anything great either. So
No.
it's just, so it's one of those ho-hum sort of things where, if you need somebody there. He's better than Skip. But,
Yeah.
I would.
You see,
That doesn't mean we have to play him every match. So I think Ellie's
No.
right. He played off the bench. I do think that we require him. I think we should keep him till the summer because,
Definitely.
off the bench, he's a much better option than Skip. So
yeah.
I really
agree.
don't like
He's coming
ever
off the
seeing
bench.
Skip come on. I hate seeing Skip come on the pitch. I know that's bad to say.
No.
I know we were so high on him for a while. It was so exciting to have, another one of our academy players coming through. But God, I think he is a championship level player if I ever saw one.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
a shame, huh,
I
bro? It's a
agree.
shame because I had a lot of and I still do. Don't get me wrong. It's like Harry Wings, an academy product. Like I wish nothing but the best, and I wish the best would have been or could be here if that makes any sense. But yeah, man, Skippy has, that championship level, bro.
Really?
You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because when he went to Norwich, that's his
He looked
level.
mustard. Yeah, he looked
That's
great
his
over there.
level, you see? When you
Yeah.
play in the Premiership, you've got a different calibre of player to play against. And usually the best footballers in the team are the midfielders, usually.
Yeah, true.
Technically the best. All right,
Yeah.
strikers are technically brilliant at putting the ball in the net. But the midfielders usually hold the key and unlock defences.
Right.
That's me talking as a midfielder, you see.
I like that. Bigging yourself up a tiny bit. I like that. I like that.
Midfielders.
We just need Ellie in midfield. That would
Yeah.
help us sort things out.
I wish I could. I wish I could play. I wish I was born a fella and played for the men's team as well, like half
Yeah.
and half.
That would be cool. That would have been
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But I like this comment from Beer Talk, just saying it's amazing how many have turned on Ange as if he were out there making bad decisions on the pitch. His tactics aren't the issue. Beer Talk, I'm agreeing with you completely here. What's the point? Says exactly. It's like Ange is setting us up to fail in the final third. I think that might have gone with a different comment. Do you guys think Ange is? I mean, and I think that has to do with he says here, does Kulu have something written in his contract that he cannot play on the left? Yeah, we're all about as confused as you are on that one, except for it just doesn't seem. It just doesn't seem like what. I mean, Postecoglou is not the first manager to play him on the right.
Yeah.
Conte did also. So yeah, there must be something. And then Daniel and Scott are talking, but I like this too. He says, but when does he start thinking though? Yeah, we're not killing games off, but losing a lead 5 games in a row, he needs to switch it up to combat in our matches. What do you think Postecoglou could do? I mean, I think this purely comes down to a mentality problem among our players. I don't think it's much to do with Postecoglou's what he is or isn't doing. I mean, do you guys think there's anything he could do to make us, stop letting in these late goals, to stop letting teams?
Get Gareth Bale in to teach these wingers how to play.
I'm surprised we didn't ask him to be some kind of a coach.
He's only on the golf course now. He's got time on his hands. Come and train them.
But he's still got our back. Gareth Bale is still Tottenham through and through. All his interviews and all the stuff that I see about him on social media, like he's still a Yido.
Yeah, he's still a Yido. So is Sandro. I love Sandro.
Yes.
What a man.
That's also because we're the only club who loves him. Like Real Madrid does not. He was great for them, but I don't think their fans love him.
That is true.
All that he did for them as well.
Yeah.
That overhead kick, which was absolutely sublime in the Champions League final.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't see that every day, do you?
I skipped ahead on a couple comments, but Daniel E says, let's be real. It's not like West Ham carved us open, which they did not. And that's
2 mistakes and they got 2 goals. What more? Yeah. They didn't really produce much else apart from the one that was at the back post, and that was it really.
Yeah.
They had 5 shots on target. That's what it says. I only tagged 3.
They capitalized though, Ellie. They capitalized because we had 10 shots off target, right? Out of our 23 of them, 10 of them were off target. So
I get your point, but we gifted it to them. It's not like they
didn't carve us open
on our gifts. We gifted
I would argue that Bowen's press made it so that we had to pass out faster from the back, and sometimes you make mistakes while you're doing that. All these back passes and stuff like that. Those silly mistakes come from like the pressure that the opposition's press also puts on you. So in the second half, I thought they did that.
Yeah, I don't think there was too much pressure on the Udogie though.
Yeah, that's true.
There wasn't much. He just done the pass wrong. It was raining and the ball stuck in the grass.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But the first one, I agree with. That was a calamity of errors.
For sure. We've got Chris Meta Football TV here saying evening all. Sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you, Ash. That was terrible of me. That was bad timing. I apologize.
No, it's okay. I'm just gonna say it was one of those Charlie Chaplin sort of reels, where 1, 2, ping, ping, ping,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the silent movie.
Exactly, and it almost seemed so comical. It was hard to believe it was real. But we've got Chris Meta Football TV in the house. Big up, Chris.
Big up.
We've got Ashton Mills being kind of a dick. What's up, Ashton? Thanks for being here, I guess, even though you're not a Spurs fan. We appreciate you. We appreciate you, Ashton. Vicario has to catch that and take that in the indirect free kick. You're right. I mean, it was definitely tough, but like we were saying earlier, he punches too many of those away.
I think foreign goalies in general, they like to punch, don't they?
It seems so.
Like Lloris, when he first came, he used to punch a lot.
He did.
Clinical,
yeah, but we do lack a clinical striker. Brian Maguire's in the house, 100%.
Yeah.
Sonny was that guy for a while, and I still think Sonny's fairly clinical. I mean, his goal against City should show that, but he's not an out-and-out striker, that's for sure. And if rumors are to be believed, we are looking at some, maybe even as early as the January transfer window.
His legs were going 1,000 miles an hour, Sonny's yesterday. Did you notice? He was so trying to shift it to get the shot in, and he was just passing it between his feet, and he wasn't getting it sorted. And I felt so sorry for him because it wasn't for lack of effort.
Yeah, that's true.
He couldn't get the ball out of his feet. Oh,
That's a good point.
very disappointing.
Talk about Sonny. You know, poor Sonny, kind of a player that, you know, I hate to say it, but he's starting to be like a patchy player, right? Sometimes he's going to be good, and sometimes he's not going to be good. And you know, I know a lot of that reflects on the service around him and stuff like that. But also, no, we had one offside last against West Ham, so the chances were there, right? They were. He was not offside like he was the game against the other game when he had a hat trick of offside. So
yeah. But Scott M says that we should have won yesterday. Didn't think we were good, but we were better than them. 100%, Scott. 100%. We definitely didn't play our best match, but we were better than West Ham for sure. We got Rick Jansen in the house. According to delusional Spurs fans, you have the best left back, goalkeeper, center back, defensive midfielder, attacking midfielder, striker, and top manager. Still, Man United will finish above you. If you want to put $5 on it, let's do it. Actually, no, let's make it 20.
We've got the same points, and we're still above them.
Yeah, Rick, we'll put 20 on it if you wanna stick around. Yeah, thanks for being here, Rick. We appreciate you. Dirty Sanchez is in the house saying hi. And then Chris has a good one here. So Basuma at one point was Basuma, and now that the team is slumped due to cards and injuries, he's in question. That's a good question. I'll kind of pose that to you guys. Do you think that we're being too harsh on Basuma? Are we expecting too much from him?
Look, this is just to piggyback off of the comment about, you know, we're overhyping our players, the best DM and the best center and the best center back. Well, look, Van de Ven was, when he was fit, the best center back in the league. So there's no arguing there. Basuma is a player who plays right in front of him. So now you're taking out the person that, you know, he relies on to connect with. He's obviously going to go down when the quality behind him drops. You know, it's going to affect his play too. I'm not trying to make any excuses, but that's just the truth. When the quality behind you drops and the quality who's feeding you these balls drops, it's going to be different. Now, I'm going to go shift up a little bit. Now, the quality drops when Maddison is out. He also said the best attacking midfielder. Maddison, when he was fit, my homie, was the best in the league. He's out, but he was the best in the league. And now you put the middle piece, which is Basuma, back in there. He doesn't have his link-up players with Van de Ven and James Maddison. Of course his level is going to drop. The players around him, the quality around him has dropped. You're only as good as your weakest link. Basuma is not the weakest link, right? So I got to counter that guy's argument with, they still are the best in the league. I will put that against anybody's center back. Van de Ven is the best. He's just injured right now. Maddison, I hate to say this to you, my homie. He is the best right now. It's just he's injured.
Yeah.
And when they're back, Colin, I guarantee you Basuma's going to be back to being the best there is in the league.
You know, I love Basuma. I think he's an amazing player. I do think, though, that he lacks sometimes positional awareness in the sense that, you know, when to play what sort of football. For example, if you in the opposition's third or even in the opposition's half, if you're trying to challenge three players and trying to get the ball beyond them, that's creative. You're trying something. You're trying to get the ball past the other team. But if you do it next to your own goal, then that's dangerous. So I think that you can do that, and you're praised for doing that. But it depends on where on the pitch you do it. And I think there should be some awareness of where he's at on the pitch to try different things. A simple pass works here, and you know a simple pass there makes you Højbjerg. So like you have to know the difference.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And another thing, football's about combinations as well, right? And understanding of one another's play. And when you've got an understanding like Basuma has with Madders and Sarr, especially, right?
Yeah.
But more with Maddison, because that link up where he would bring the ball forward and link up with Maddison was fabulous. And we saw the best of Basuma in those first 10 games. Really, say six or seven games, he was really, really good. And 3 sort of was okay. But the 6 or 7 that he was really good. the combination with Madden, and also the combination at the back with Romero and Van de Ven. What a great understanding. They forged a brilliant centre-back partnership. And in football, you need that. All the great teams have had it down the years, you know, and it does make a difference when you miss one cog from that central position as well. Yeah. And Lo Celso, however good he is, he's not James Maddison. Yeah. He can't offer you the best, and he's not the best to link up with either, because he doesn't find clever positions so much as Maddison does. And so Bissouma's coming forward and he's looking for that. And what you saw yesterday, there was a lot of tentative play as well as forward play. You know, it's like stop, start, stop, start. You know, and you do need combinations in teams to win you things, and it gets you over the line. Same up front as well. Up front, you look at the great partnerships through the year. You had Rush and Dalglish. You had Archibald and Crooks at Spurs. You know, there were so many good up-front combinations, and Sonny hasn't got that. He had Kane. He lost his best mate, and we didn't replace him with nobody. So he's done well to get 9 goals, to tell you the truth. But he can't do it all on his own. He needs somebody up there to feed off as well. And somebody like Kane who can play that sort of role, but also score goals as well.
Have you heard that we're looking at what's that fellow's name? Vlahovic? Have you heard that the Vlahovic rumors are back?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I doubt we'll get him.
Yeah, I kind of doubt it too. But since he's been so poor at Juventus, I figure maybe it's a possibility. But real quick, we got to say hi to Chris. Yay. Chris snuck in.
Big up.
Chris, what is up, my guy? Oh, you're muted, my friend. You're muted. No problem. So
hey, real quick, Colin, if I just could say before the homie comes on, to caveat everything we just were talking about, when Ange Postecoglou has his best 11, we're talking about all his injured players and all these players that had just gotten back. When he has his 11, his tactics are spot on, and the starting 11's understanding of his tactics are spot on. And at that point, to the guy who made that comment, I'm willing to bet that our team could go pound for pound with your team, my homie. So that's just another thing I want to say. We might have the best manager in the league. That is just because we've lost these games. That doesn't mean we do or don't, right? It's just when he has his best dogs in the fight, I'm putting him up against anybody.
Boom.
Anybody.
And everybody, if you want more of this awesome dude right here, here's his channel right below me, Mile High Hotspur. Check Leo's channel out. It is awesome. But yeah, I agree with you 100%, dude. 100%. You can't ask. I guess any team I feel like that has as many injuries as us is going to look not like themselves. Is going to look poor. We'll lose some matches. But Chris, I think you're on. Can we hear you yet? No, I still cannot hear you, sir. So
that was a bit like Spurs' attack yesterday.
I thought that was I don't know if that was a message. Who sent it here to tell us that? To tell us to be quiet. But anyway, no, guys, there were some more great comments I wanted to get to here. We've had some real cool people in the house. John Fitzpatrick is here. John Fitzpatrick is a real good dude. If you don't know Fitzy, get to know Fitzy because he is an awesome dude. Hasper, though, saying that he thinks that we're too predictable.
Big up Hasper.
Yeah, big up Has as well. Do you guys
agree?
What team
is not, Colin? What team is not predictable?
Every team's got a way they play, for sure.
At some point, yeah.
Absolutely. And do you think so, Ellie?
I think we mix it up quite often. You know, we're trying. We're a team on trial, aren't we? Like, I don't think we're predictable. There's certain players who can do predictable things, but as a whole, I don't think, because we move the ball very quickly and our movement off the ball is excellent. Like, you can tell by the stats, 700 odd passes. Fantastic. I don't think any other team in the league has done that so far.
That's Barcelona. That's Barcelona numbers. You know what I mean?
That's Barcelona numbers, man. Come on, it will come good. It just... When we get our big players back as well, it's going to be a different kettle of fish. And I hope we can get some nice signings in January as well.
That's one thing I was going to ask you guys about. That. Someone has put up a comment here. It's the Beer Talk says that we need Perisic and Solomon back. Van de Ven as well, or just Madison.
Madison.
Or just Madison. I like how it could be one of the two. Yeah. And then Fitzy's asking Has what he thinks needs to happen in January. And then Has says we need like 5 players.
Big up,
guys. It looks like he is back. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready, sir. Oh,
yeah,
thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. It's Chris. What is up, Chris?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yay! Sound beautiful.
That's it.
Yes, I'm really a Russian spy. It's not my real voice. I'm just joking.
How did we know?
How's everybody?
Oh, we're good, man. I mean, we're all right. We're kind of talking each other off a cliff today, and trying to see the good instead of all the bad that some people are seeing. So how about you, Chris? So I got the very first thing I did was kind of get everybody's like 1 or 2 sentence feeling on the match, just to kind of sum it up. If you had to do that.
About the technical, just before, just to apologise. I watched the first half and fell asleep on the sofa for the second, so I didn't really watch it. So that was how great it was. The result was awful in and of itself. Not good losing at home to a beatable team, right?
Yeah.
Unexpected, because it's okay. I suppose it's acceptable to lose to the top 6, right? Call them what you want, top 5, top 4. The big guns. You can't lose to the bottom clubs, the mid-table clubs, because that's where you have to rack up your points. Losing at home to West Ham was awful. The goals were unfortunate, let's just say, due to lack of complacency, lack of concentration, in my opinion. Not a good night. I don't think it's down to Ange being a worse manager. He can only use the tools that he's got.
Exactly.
So if your best centre back is out, say Van de Ven is out, you've got to use someone else. So you haven't got the best tool. Your man in the middle, I don't know what your name is. Sorry, with the cap in the middle.
Leo. Leo.
Oh, sorry, Leo. Chris. Leo. My bad there.
You commented before. Hi Ash. I saw you yesterday. Hi, and Queenie. I think your comment. It's all like it's like if you're best.
Yes.
Yeah, you can say like that. It's okay. No. If Van de Ven is out, for example, that's going to have a knock-on effect on, for example, Bissouma, if that cohesion is broken, because you're used to playing with the next one. You don't know what the substitute is going to do, because you're used to playing in a certain way, and if someone comes on the press, you know what to do, where to move. If that's broken, you're going to have a problem, unless that's drilled. So it all breaks down, and it's not good. Albeit, as I was saying, a red card or cards, injuries, so it all breaks down. It's the chain. It breaks down some point, at some small part, and that has a knock-on effect on the whole team. It's not the players per se. It's not Ange per se. It's the whole thing. Hey, Jose.
Hello.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah,
Jose.
I'd like to remind the Arsenal fans in the chat that Arteta finished 8th and 5th, and then he finished 2nd. So, and Postecoglou's only been here for 15 games. So we're low in our. I'm happy. I'm happy for him to keep on trialing this team and trying new things while we find, get our players back and get our best players back. And then we can push on again, because I'm sure we're going to push on. There's no way that our best 11 are going to, have defeats like this.
Yeah. Oh, like Leo was saying, if we had our best team in, these matches would be totally different. And I fully believe that. It does just show how thin we are and how susceptible to injury our team is, and you know how that's really going to hurt us down the line if not addressed. Jason Bell, I like his comment here. He thinks Basuma, Sarr, and Madison had excellent chemistry together in the middle.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And then I kind of wanted to follow that up. I've been wanting to ask everybody this. Is Sarr missing out hurting us worse than we thought, or hurting us worse than we're noticing? I think that Sarr would have been incredible to see him start yesterday. I just think that he offers something different than a lot of our other players. His engine is just crazy. He just runs and runs and runs. But yeah, do you think? I think missing Sarr is almost as important as, people are going to kill me for saying this, but like Madison. Like, I don't know. I think Sarr really makes a difference in that midfield and makes the players around him look better. They don't have to do as much work when he's there.
Yeah, he does. He covers every blade of the grass.
He really does.
He was in our squad when we were going through that amazing run, right? He was kind of a pivotal player in that squad. So I would definitely say, bro, that he's an integral part of what Ange's system needs to function the way he wants it to. And I'll even go as far as to say, if you put in Sarr into this game yesterday, he's still not going to look as good as he would as if it was the three amigos together, right? Sarr, Basuma, and Madison. Because we talked about this too. You're getting the ball. Basuma's turning around, getting the ball. I guess we'll even use Sarr for example. Sarr's turning around, getting the ball from a Basuma, and he's trying to play it off to somebody. He's not used to seeing Madison. It's going to affect him.
Why do you think that Bissouma would look better if Sarr was there? Because Sarr sort of, it's kind of like the Romero Van de Ven sort of situation where Sarr's engine and his constant running sort of spurs Bissouma on as well. So I feel like those two sort of, there's this organic thing between the two of them where they're both sort of like playing off each other really well. I do think that Bissouma would have looked better if Sarr was on the pitch as well.
Yeah,
even though
Sarr is his security blanket, because he knows he can go and do his flashy things and he can drive forward, and he's got Sarr behind him to mop up.
Exactly, like Romero, like Ash was saying. Yeah, 100%.
He mops up so much of the midfield errors, and he tracks back and he works so hard for the team that we are missing that engine, Like I said, he's an organic combination with Basuma. It works well because they really do understand each other's game.
And it seems like this might be me like really just looking into things that aren't there, but I feel like part of the reason why Sarr is so good is because he's so young and because he wasn't getting game time. I think that we've given him some game time. And I think that he's like, whoa, I cannot let go of this. I can't, you know what I mean? I can't go back to not having.
Yeah.
So he was injured, right?
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I think that whenever he was playing this season, it was the fact that he was young. He knew he had to impress. So I think he was doing the extra running. I think he was doing, those little extra bits. And I think that was what made him look so good. And I just hope that he doesn't let go of that. He didn't seem to be, even when he was kind of a nailed-on starter there. So hopefully he keeps his good attitude. But I think his attitude is a huge reason.
What you're saying is that he's so grateful that he breaks into the team, that he doesn't want to lose that spot. Because he's worked so hard in the club to be recognised, and he wasn't recognised by any of the other managers. And now he's got his chance. He's taking it with both feet.
Exactly, 100%.
I think the spot is his, Colin. I think it is his. I think he was injured a little bit, and he's got to get back to fitness. But I think as soon as he's back to 100%, I think that spot is his.
Especially now that Bentancur's injured.
Especially now that Bentancur's injured, you're right, exactly right. And so, and one thing that I think helps them a lot, and I mean, this might sound kind of corny, but I think him and Basuma share a lot, both being African, right? They both have, they probably both speak a similar language. Sarr speaks English. Does he?
Yeah, he speaks French as well.
And French. So
they've got a little bit of the French connection.
Yeah, they have, so he's obviously going to feel a lot more comfortable when he has Basuma, and vice versa. I'm almost inclined to say that Basuma feels a lot better too when he's got his mate out there, right? You're almost going to be able to play more like you're playing with your mates, playing free flowing. And I think that's what our Fit 11 offers us is a cohesion of like friends that are just having a kick about with each other, right?
And they believe in each other, and they
And they
know
believe in each
exactly
other.
what they can and can't do. You know what I mean? And so they're never sure, and they never have to be unsure, I guess, of what players are going to be able to do. Like they know, hey, if I fizz this pass in at so and so's feet really hard, he's still going to be able to control it. Or hey, if I put the ball into this space, Son's going to be there. He's going to have already made his run. Yeah, exactly. I think there's a lot of that cohesion is really important. And when you take that away, like I said, any team's going to struggle. Really quick, just wanted to say hey to Jose again. Jose hasn't had much to say, so I figured we'd maybe get him involved. Jose, how are you, man? What do you think about?
Firstly, Ellie, Ash, Leo, and Chris, thank you very much for joining the show.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks very much.
Welcome.
You
Our
guys,
pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
you guys,
Always.
and the people in the chat are the people that make the show. This show is for the people, and we say what we mean. I have been listening to all of you. I've been putting messages in the private chat, which all of you have been ignoring. No one was answering the messages, and I was like, okay, fair enough. I'll just stay here, and I'll keep making out I'm not around. And I'll be listening to you guys. Interesting comments you've all made. And there's some interesting people in the chat.
Yes, there are. There are. Yes.
There are some interesting people in the chat, and we do welcome people who support all sorts of teams. And at the end of the day, it is about opinions, and it's all emotional, and it is about opinions. And you're more than welcome to have your opinions. However, if you do post an opinion, you may get an opinion back. So please, just all respect each other's opinions.
And it's all fair play. It's all fair play too, Jose, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
And so for you four guests, thank you very much. You've made my day. I've been happy just to sit in the background and listen to the four of you go. So, and you, Colin. Sorry, forgetting you.
No. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. I'm here all the time. You're used to me. It's okay. It's all good. All good.
But yeah, I've had a. I'm just going to start throwing mine. I slept on it because last night I went into Come On Ye Spurs TV for their after show for the post match, and I went on there, and I've slept on it because our game was last night. Obviously, being an English time, it's nearly 24 hours ago for me now. I've slept on it, and I've reflected, and I've thought again, and to me, I'm still curious as to why Højbjerg started over Kulu. I really am so curious. I posted a comment in your show earlier, I think, Ellie, where I put down. I did it on after the show had finished as well, and I think I've commented saying, for me, as soon as I saw the team sheet yesterday, I was kind of deflated. I'm not picking on Højbjerg, but I just felt that Kulu would have been a better fit to play in the 10 role before the game had started. That was my thought. Watching the game, I thought that as well. And also, as well, with some of the substitutions that he made in the second half when we were chasing the game, we're kind of curious. Now, at the end 100%. Of the day, I don't wear one of them. You know that they wear these monitors on their backs and stuff like that tells them when maybe that they've hit levels and that, and then he was forced to make these substitutions. I don't know, but they seem kind of strange. We certainly got a attacking wise. We attack. We played well. We attacked. Their goals is an unlucky back pass by an underhit back pass by Udogie, and then the deflection to bounce off defenders 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and then go.
Like pinball.
But then we got defeated. I will say that I was watching the other game because the other game kicked off before our game, and because they were on Amazon, I was watching the Newcastle game. And I watched Newcastle because it was half time of the Tottenham game, and I switched it over and I watched Newcastle go 2-0 up. And obviously they ended up winning 3-0. For prediction wise, I did say that Everton would win, and I had 2-0. So I was gutted when I turned it over and see they'd won 3. So they scored one right at the end. But then what I will say, Kieran Trippier made a couple of mistakes yesterday for the first 2 goals, and that's because Newcastle are in the same position as us. They're depleted. They've got lots of players out as well, and their players are playing game in, out. They're playing all the games, And I think mentally, it must be fatiguing, and also to play every game because you're not rotating your team. The players must be getting knackered. So, to me, it's going to be kind of a weird game for me on Sunday, to be honest, because we've got two teams similar in the sense of adversity at the moment, but they look really fried last night, is what I'm going to say. Against Everton, they look really fried. Where we may look a bit fresher. Anyway, that was my comment for now. Please continue, Colin, with what you were saying.
Oh, yeah. We were just kind of shooting the breeze. One thing that we haven't really gotten into yet. We all agree that the injuries are hurting us, that we're weak in a lot of positions on the pitch. I mean, we've surely got to dip into the market in January. I'll start with
Sorry,
Chris.
Has I sent you the link?
Oh,
So
sweet.
don't
I put
know
it in the.
I know what you've done, but I sent him the link personally. So
okay, cool. Yeah, I was gonna say it's in the WhatsApp group as well. But yeah, so guys, and I'll start with Chris, since Chris hasn't had much opportunity to speak yet, as much as the rest of us. January transfer market, we're gonna have to dip into it. I mean, it's almost a necessity at this point. So, which positions do you think are most necessary, I guess, for us to be looking at, for us to bring in January?
Yeah, centre backs, midfield, and striker, definitely. So I'm looking at least 4 or 5. I said that on Ellie, Mia, and Kate's channel, and Mia fried me. So I said 5. What I would like to see is different to what I think will happen. But what I think we need is definitely centre back or centre backs, midfielders, and a striker to bolster the team and to give it the quality that it needs, because we might be more or less content and we might be more or less saying, yeah, well, it's Ange's transition or it's his first year at the front, in charge of the team. Yeah, we'll forgive him, or he's got a lot of margin, a lot of leeway. But if we can get quality players in now, which is difficult, but if we can to bolster the team, then we've done a lot of work. But I'm sure that will happen over various transfer windows, not just January. But that's what I think we need, not what I think will happen. So.
Oh, okay. Well then, sorry. Let me change it. What do you think will happen? What do you think we are going to get in January?
Oh man. Next, go to someone else. I haven't got a clue. I do not know.
Oh, all good. All good.
On the market, it depends. I do not know. I expect something strange and exotic to happen.
Same, just with Ange and the markets he usually deals in, and things like that.
And with Langer,
Scott Munn.
Langer, Johan Langer. I think that he will pull something out of the hat, so to speak, that we're not expecting. So, as you say, something out of left field. So I'm hoping for something like that.
Me too. Big up. Thank you for that answer. I appreciate you. I kind of put you on the spot with that one. But,
no worries. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. But guys, anybody? So obviously, like Chris was saying, we need some reinforcements in defense for sure. I think we could use a striker, and midfield seems to be the position to me where we seem like we might be okay. I don't know. I'll flip it over to Leo. Yeah. What do you think? Yeah. What are you thinking, bud?
We are pretty stacked in the midfield. I mean, that's thank God that we have the players that we have now. If not, we'd be in a crisis, right? But I think that we need defenders for sure, a center back, and maybe cover for Udogie. But I want somebody to come in that's going to rival Van de Ven and Romero for the starting spot. I don't want somebody that's okay with coming here to be on the bench, if that makes any sense, because I don't want these guys to feel comfortable enough to think that their spot is untouchable, because I mean that's just going to create a bad mentality. That's kind of what we've had over the past couple of years, is players thinking their spot is untouchable, and I think that is not something good for the locker room. With that being said, one thing that I do want to say, and this is kind of me just being biased, I know a lot of people are on the Santi Jimenez train, and he's an excellent footballer. Don't get me wrong. When he plays for the Mexican national team, I sometimes pay attention to it, right? Me being Mexican. The only reason I wouldn't want him to come to Spurs, and this is just me having like my Mexican sombrero on, is I would hate for him to fail at Spurs, right? And we had it once with Giovanni Dos Santos, and that kind of is just like, for Mexicans, we're just like, oh my God, like a young kid on a big stage that didn't do it right. And I would hate for Santi Jimenez, a player who's doing really good where he's at right now, to take that leap and to come to Spurs and it all just backfire in his face. But we do need help up front. Sonny is not honestly the best option for to have up front. If we could do somebody better and maybe utilize Sonny in a better position. I don't know if but we need cover all over the pitch, guys, except for the midfield.
Can I just ask, Leo, do you see, on that note, sorry, do you see Santiago Jimenez as an out-and-out number 9 striker for Spurs or someone similar if he were to make the leap from Feyenoord to another European club, for example? Is he a number 9 or is he like a second striker, how do you see him?
Well, I don't watch much Feyenoord. I see very little of the Mexican national team. But when I do see him, and what I hear a lot of the people I talk to is, he's the number 9, but he can link up some play when he needs to.
Right. Okay. Because I'm not sure.
He would probably do good. He probably would, brother. But me personally, is like I said, with my sombrero on, I would hate to see this young man come here and fail.
I get it, and he wouldn't be the first striker to do so either. So
he wouldn't. Yeah.
He really wouldn't. So before, a question I have to kind of pose to you guys, and this sort of is on the same topic as transfers, I guess, because it's options. You guys remember the year or years that we had Fernando Llorente up at striker for us, and obviously I know he's a bigger guy than Veliz, but I don't understand why we're not using them similar. I can't say that word, but we're using them in a similar. Yeah, it's hard to say, but why aren't we using them? Why aren't we using them like that? Because it just seems like it would be good to have Veliz in there to to head the ball down to anybody, to kind of collect the ball and then pass it off to somebody. He just seems like he could definitely play that Llorente role that we had so much. I mean, we had a lot of luck with it. We had a lot of luck with it whenever he was here. Just surprised. And I think Jose is probably surprised. Actually,
sorry, Jose, good.
No, Ash, all you.
So I think that for the Llorente comparison in terms of how we play makes sense, but as players they were one was very, very experienced and the other is very, very young. So in that sense, it doesn't hold up as much. But I will say that we don't, no matter who's in the box, we don't cross the ball high up to hit people's head. I mean, the Richie chance that we missed, I think Ellie said this earlier, where she said that why didn't we find his head 2 or 3 more times? So like we don't do those high crosses. Everything is a low cross into the box, and perhaps that's because Sonny's our striker. He's not that the best with his head, but I also think that's how we play. So I do think that no matter who you would put there, we're not hitting anybody's head. And the second thing is, like Llorente was great to bring on at the end of matches because Poch was bad with like the low block teams, and then in the end we just be frantically pinging the balls in and hoping it just makes contact and goes into the goal, right? I don't think Ange plays like that. I think Ange is like play Ange ball throughout 90 minutes. Eventually it'll happen. I don't see us sort of tossing the ball into the box that much in the final 10 minutes, just trying to get somebody's head. I don't see that happen that often.
That's very good. I agree with that. Sorry to butt in. I agree with that, Ash, totally. But the fact that we don't have like a giant target man may be because the fact that we don't ping balls in is because we don't have a number 9, right? That of that stature of that port. And the only thing that, for example, Llorente and Veliz have in common is their size. And the height, right? But Veliz is very mobile for a 6'4" guy, yeah, despite age, he's very mobile, whilst Fernando Llorente was not. You see, he was the target man. He was the number 9 for Bilbao, right? And when he played for Spain, he was the target man. Belly, he's not the target man. He's very mobile. He can do a lot of other things. So just in size, that's the only comparison that you can make. I mean, I'm sure that we can get a hell of a lot more out of Belly coming in from behind and not just being a target man, but it's the experience that I was saying, and you were saying as well, Ash, that he lacks and it will get to be, useful to the team.
I have a question I want to pose to you guys. We're talking about, what we can do as far as bringing players in. Do you guys see Veliz as a player that's going to stay here all year, or do you think maybe they'll look to loan him out and get some time and then maybe loan him out to a team that plays similar to like what we're trying to do and see how he fits in and incorporates into a team, and then maybe next year try and bring him in because he's really young, right, Veliz? And, I mean, he's not getting that much. He's not getting that much
I think
time.
it depends on if we bring anybody in.
Yeah,
Adrian, what's up, buddy?
We're not giving him substantial game time to establish himself
That's what I
as
mean.
a target man. And what we're doing, he's making really good runs against Aston Villa. I was watching him because I wanted to see what this lad was all about. And he was making some fantastic runs, and nobody was finding him. It was like he was new to the team, and nobody knew what he was all about. Right, and they were using Sonny instead, which is not a bad thing, but at least use him. If you're going to bring him on, at least look at where he's running, because he was making some very intelligent runs. And I was particularly looking for him to see how clever he is as a striker. And he has got all the minerals. He's got it. So we're not utilising him, and we're not giving him enough game time that he can make his mark in the team. I just think we're wasting his talent.
I'm sure Jose will have something on this
at
one.
the end of the game. It's not good enough.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I'm going to say hello to a few people because, the chat's popping off and people are talking to each other.
Yeah, there's too many comments to get through every single one today.
So I'm going to say hello to Hasbro TV, hello to Scott M, hello to Rick Jansen, hello to David Clark, who goes on to Come On You Spurs TV quite often. I'm going to say hello to John Fitzpatrick, hello to Balu, hello to Kem62, who said followed us here because they followed Ellie over.
Big up, Ken.
Yeah,
Big up, Ken.
You've got there, so she says she's followed you. So big up, Kem. You got Lycurgus, so hello, Lycurgus. Got Top Spurs there to say hello to. Hello to Ronnie. Ronnie, I'm glad you're here because I saw you doing predictions earlier on Kate's. Well, you can do predictions with us if you like today as well. Also, I've also seen Lee Smithy Smith. No, we haven't done it yet, but good afternoon, Lee Smithy Smith.
Lee Smithy Smith, what's up?
Good afternoon to Jason Bell. And good afternoon.
I actually remember that cross too that Jason was speaking of. But sorry about that. Dermot.
To Dermot.
Dermot.
Big up, Dermot.
And then also I've got a hello to Mick Vickers. I'm hoping that you caught everyone else before these people, but there's quite a few people here, and you're all talking, and I just want to make sure that these people know that they are appreciated, and we're saying hello to you all. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big up chat. Big up chat.
Let me get this up here. Thanks to everyone watching again. By the way, the show is nothing without you guys. We would just be, nice.
Oh, and beer talk.
Hello,
Yeah, beer talk. We always love having you here, man.
Big up.
I think let's give Adrian the floor because we all had something to say, some more than others, but let's give Adrian the floor.
Adrian, what do you think about January transfer windows? Yeah. Oh, you were at the game yesterday. Sorry.
Yeah, so
we're going backwards.
Self-inflicted, disappointing defeat, but there were positives in the game when I was watching. Especially, I'm liking Angeball, especially our tackling and that. We were jumping in and winning the ball back so many times, but our problem again was whatever permutation of a front three we put out there, apart from the weight of Burnley, it just hasn't clicked. Now, if we were to bring a striker in, I'd like to see Velez given a run, or even Donnelly, to be honest. But we need a striker that's versatile. I understand why Ange wants to play across the front three. You can't play Sonny on the left all the time. His best game is in the middle, but he can play on the left. Sometimes it works on the left for him better than other times, right? To be in that team, whether they do it with a Les on a training lane, that can interchange with Son, so they can switch. So one can go to the left wing. Richarlison's not the answer. He missed an absolute glorious header yesterday from a good cross, and we get criticised from our crosses. So if we bring a striker in, we may get Yotta on loan. I think
that would be a good one.
We're linked with so many now. We're going to get one in. Whether they're one that we're going to like or not, I don't know. But it's going to have to be one with pace, whatever happens. So Godfrey might be the answer. He's homegrown. The other guy, Everton, Braithwaite or Braithwaite, whatever his name, he might be the answer. Then we've got all the others we're linked with in Europe. I mean, like there's so many now. So the media's gone into rumour overdrive, and it will grow exponentially. So I'd like to see a striker that can switch with Sonny on the left, but that's because I think otherwise you bring a striker in, what are you going to do? Drop Son, bench him? He's our best, he's the most accomplished finisher we got with both feet. And it don't always work for him in the middle because there are games when he gets bullied and out muscled. So we need this is why I think Ange wants strikers who can play across the front three. But it's just an opinion. What do you guys think?
I almost think we'd be good to get a striker of a completely different mold than Sonny. Like I was saying, sort of like Fernando Llorente, just somebody big and that we can just lump the ball up to as like a plan B. Yeah, Vlahovic could be that guy for sure.
Do you think?
Do
you think Ange is trying to bring in somebody to maybe supplement Sonny, or do you think he's trying to bring somebody in to possibly even maybe take Sonny's position?
Well, I think that's what Brennan Johnson was for. I think Brennan Johnson is like the long-term,
a longer term.
Yeah. And then Sonny, I think we're going to get the best out of him, whatever position we can, until his legs completely give out. We've seen he really is, and I love Sonny, and I'm not trying to be like a jerk or hop on the Sonny's trash bandwagon because I don't think that, but it's clear to anybody watching that he's lost pace, that he's not the same player that he was. So we don't know how many. And we don't know how many more years of effective Sonny we're going to have. So
you say that, Colin, but he skinned the Man City defence.
Yeah. Well, he's still got it in him, Ellie. He's still got it in him, but I just don't want to be with another Harry Kane situation.
He doesn't do it as often because he's got older and he's had to compromise some of his play because he hasn't got the same fitness as when he was younger. Which for all players, they have to slow down a little, but I don't think he's lost an awful lot of pace.
No, but he has to conserve his runs. He can't make as many runs.
Yeah.
Like Bale.
I agree. Yeah. Because Doku's supposed to be reputably a very fast winger. I haven't seen so much of him, but didn't stop.
Sonny skinned him. Yeah,
bring him down.
Yeah, he skinned him. Yeah.
And that's a lot like Bale. I mean, if you think about it, whenever Bale came back, he was that same way. He couldn't make as many runs. He wasn't constantly running, but whenever he did get the opportunity, that speed was there. He had it in bursts. Yeah. And I think Sonny's going to be a lot like that. I think Sonny's going to be a lot like that with us. So I mean, it's not the worst thing. It's just, what do we do? Are we in the future? I haven't watched enough Ange ball at other teams to know. Striker like Sonny, or does he prefer a more out and out striker most of the time?
No.
I think the person who would fit perfectly would be Vlahovic, but he's going to cost a lot of money, and I believe we've got the money because I've seen Vlahovic in his videos. I mean, he hasn't had the best of times at Juventus, right? But this guy is not frightened to take players on. He'll burst through midfield. He'll come wide and all that. So I think he could interchange with Sonny well. I mean, he's a good all-round player. He hasn't hit the form that he did when he was at Atlanta. Was it or Fiorentina? I can't remember.
Fiorentina.
Right, yeah. So I think he would be perfect. He would be less of a risk than, say, Jimenez, because when I'm looking at strikers we're supposed to be linked with, and we might not go for one in January, as we've got Villiers and Donnelly and all that, and I would understand that. But, I'm worried about left back and right back. It concerns me. Doggy's on 4 yellows. Defenders will pick up your cards and get suspensions through the season, as will midfielders, because it's so busy in midfield. But to me, we need another left back. Reguilon looks like he's unwanted. unless possibly Ange can get a tune out of Sessegnon, who should be back shortly. But, you know, he may or may not. His injury on the right-hand side, Emerson Rowe's just not technically good enough. He's good in a low block team. This is not going to suit him. Spence, I don't know nothing about him because I've hardly seen him play. So we need a right back as well. So midfielders, we only need midfielders if when we've got an injury crisis. There's a lot of talk about Calvin Phillips. Pep's rumoured today saying, look, he's not going to get game time. Here, my team as it is now. So if he's not, is he the answer? I mean, don't know. So I just think we definitely need another forward, a versatile forward. Yeah. We definitely need a centre back first to him because we're not scoring goals. Without Sonny's goals, we're not getting any. Yeah. So we're rarely getting them. So we need them two positions filled first. But the squad still needs work. I mean, we don't know what the situation is at right back. We definitely need another right back in if Spence is not going to be the answer next season. And we definitely need a left back in. Where we go for Cambiasso of Juventus. I mean, I liked Wilfred Singo at Torino. People recently talked about Denzel Dumfries, but Singo's younger. I like him. And Ange has hinted, actually, guys, look out for the age of these players because he's looking for 24-year-olds and under. So, but that's just a rumour as well. So I'll shut up now.
No, you're good. I just wanted to ask if Baloo is saying that that the championship is a pub league, because that's where he got his 18 goals. And anyway, that's a weird one, Baloo. I wouldn't necessarily call the championship a pub league, but that's just me. But another thing I wanted to throw up to you guys was there was a comment I really liked. It was from RVP, the best ever, Vlahovic. So you want to waste another 60 million quid at least, like Richarlison? I don't think Vlahovic would be a waste. Again, he's an unknown. He's never played in the Premier League. But Richarlison had scored plenty of goals in the Premier League.
Listen, knows where to find the net. And there was a rumour today that Spurs are going to put Richarlison on the transfer list. Wow. So we'll see if that's true.
Yeah, let's see if that one pans out. But you know what, guys? I think the answer to our right back position, right? Like Porro, he's a very good right wing back, right? But I think he's wasted as a right wing back. I think he's fantastic going forward and creating that trouble. And we should get ourselves a couple. One right back and one left back and a centre back, 100% of the quality that we've already got, right? Because Porro's wasted as a defensive right wing back. He's fabulous at going forward. Like he showed against West Ham yesterday, he was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I just think he'll be better in Kulu's role than Kulu. He provides more.
Right. So just want to say hello to a few more people so we can continue the chat because we've got people in the chat. So we've got Mick Vickers. Good evening, Mick Vickers. We've got RVP, the best ever. So I take him from Arsenal supporter. But good evening.
Man U. He's a Man U supporter.
RVB, I'll give it good evening to you.
United.
Good evening to Kevin G. Good evening to Steve D. Good evening to Noel Kane. Good evening to Noel Kane. Good evening to Paul Brown.
Yes.
And I think we've welcomed and said hello to everybody so far. So
we always say hello to packed house. We always say hello to special friends, but to everybody.
And Kate is here.
Kate as well.
Go on, Kate. Get in there.
Yeah, Kate. There's a link in the group if you want.
Okay, RVP is an Arsenal fan, which I thought he was. So no worries. But welcome to the channel, RVP.
Welcome.
And Chris Peters just joined as well. So
whoa, Chris Peters.
Hello, Chris Peters.
Finished work.
He says we can spout all we like about who we want, but Levy needs to stump up the money still, and we know how hard that is. I have a hard time believing that there's no money. You've all heard the reports from different journalists saying that Spurs don't have any money. Well, then where's the money? Like there was money. We sold Kane for $100 million or whatever. We have had the highest revenue out of any team. The the loan payments we're paying on the stadium are supposed to be pretty low and at a fixed rate. So where's the money? You know what I mean? It's like, where's the money?
I think you're always
Money.
going to have your cards close to you, right? You're never going to want to really expose
Exactly.
yourself. And
and say, oh, we've got 200 million to spend in the market.
yeah, there's
Overcharge
financial,
us.
there's financial
what?
people on YouTube that you know some of our fellow YouTubers are really good with the financial stats, and they'll tell you there's money to spend. They'll break it down, and you know there's tons of money to spend. But the minute you say you have a war chest of like, let's just say 150 mil, well then your Vlahovic goes from 60 to 90. You know,
Yep,
so that's why
exactly.
you kind of. I'm assuming I'm no master negotiator,
No.
and I'm definitely no Daniel Levy-inner, but he's very good at what he does in that aspect of the game, right? He's gonna try and wheel and deal, and yeah, so he's not gonna want to. He's not gonna get caught with his pants down. That's for sure.
The money's being
There's a
saved
lot
for
of-
the go-kart circuit. That's what it is.
And that's
Okay.
another fact there too.
There's a lot of things.
That's
we
funny,
have
but
to
it
take
could
into-
also be true, honestly.
You have to have trust in what you do as well, and in the manager that you've got, because like a lot of people criticize Man City and they've spent the most and they win because they spend money. They don't win because they spend money. They win because they got the best plan, right? And they know what they're doing. They got the best team around them, and they can
So you're
on
saying,
top of that spend money, right?
so you're saying
so-
we've got Longa, we've got. You saying we got a
right,
big good team.
No. Oh, now we're putting the icing. You know, we're putting the layers on that cake that hopefully
Yeah.
will put us into next gear, right? But if you don't trust in what your manager wants, right, and what your team around you wants on the sporting side of things, why would you go out and spend 90 million on Vlahovic if
I agree.
you know what I mean? If you don't have trust in your manager. Now,
I
if
agree.
Ange comes in and says, I've got this great guy that's going to score us 30 goals plus, and he's only 7 million, right? Or another guy comes in and says, no, I want to find Vlahovic and he's complete rubbish and he's going to cost us 90. What are you going to go with? I mean, you're going to have total trust in what your manager does. And I don't think that Conte, Mourinho, or even Nuno had that trust, or they lost it very, very quickly in Daniel Levy, right? Of all that Daniel Levy may be, and we might hate him and despise him and whatever, but it works both ways, because you just can't say, I'm Mourinho, give me 600 billion, right? You have to earn it as well. And I think that they lost it, and their vision was always short term, because they're win now managers. It's always short term, and it was never going to be an investment for the long haul. Now, this guy is putting things in place, and he's not a big spender either. Maybe he come out with a 40, 50 million from time to time, costing a player, but I don't think he's going to be that way. And they're going to bring in really, really exotic, as I call them, interesting left field players for not that expensive. And they're going to be extremely functional and useful for the team. So
I agree.
that's how
I agree 100%.
That's how you build.
We
that's how you
can
build a
bring
team.
in expensive players. I mean, I think there's a bit of a myth out there
Okay.
amongst
But
fans.
we've
So
just the last couple of
when we
expensive players
sell-
we've got have been shit.
when we sell a player, even if we sell a player for 40 or 50 million, no club we sell it to, they don't pay that money in full. And when we buy a player, we don't pay the money in full. So if we've got 50, 60 million to spend, say it's that, we could put 20 million down on 3 good players. Right,
Yeah,
because
that's
the rest of
true,
that
true.
fee is paid during that player's contract, either over 5 years or less time. So, like, I've heard on other podcasts people say, "Oh, we need to spend 200 million and all that." Well, we know that's not going to happen, right? So, yeah, I mean, like, and we don't forget we're still paying all this money off for Lo Celso and then Don Belly. We've still got to get rid of Tanganga. There's a few players to sell. You've got Roden, who Leeds will probably buy. They'd probably buy Spence as well. Now, I don't know if he's got a future with Spurs or not, because there's so much we don't know. There's so much uncertainty with these players. So we can bring money in. It might not be fortunes, but it all helps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
right.
I was just
I
just
agree.
pointing out that the last expensive managers that we, or not managers, wow, I'm losing it. But in the past we haven't exactly done well with expensive players. Looking at Davinson Sanchez, I'm looking at Ndombele. I'm kind of looking at
Richarlison.
Giovanni Lo Celso, Richarlison Lo Celso, even though he's
Richarlison.
looking a little better now. So it's almost like we do better on players that aren't the bigger name, more well
What
known
we should
guys.
do is Juventus' skin, go there, like get Vlahovic and Brahim off them, and then go to PSG and get Hakimi.
Can I ask a question? Ash,
That'd be so
Ash,
good.
what time is it where you are at the moment?
It's 11:09 p.m.
Okay, so because Ash is in a different time zone to the rest of us, so Ash, I really
Thank you for joining us, Ash.
It's a Friday night and it's nearly 11:10, and you're still with us. So Ash, thank you very much. Yeah, God bless
And
you.
I
Ash-
would like to add that I have not. The game finished in the morning for us, so then I had work, so I have not slept.
Yeah. I thought so.
Dedication.
Else would I have
What a
insomnia.
trooper!
And how was your day today at work, Ash?
I was telling them earlier, I was so angry with the Spurs game that I was giving out C's and D's to all my students, and then I realized the problem wasn't them, it was Spurs.
Fantastic. So what I was going to say, because this show is going swimmingly, we've got some fantastic guests. So what I'm going to say is that for the what's it called, the predictions, right? We'll get the predictions put on at the end of when the show finishes. People can add their predictions there. Apart from the people that we've got there on the screen, I'd rather just do them like that because then I can hit them all. Because otherwise, it will take me ages to get the predictions done.
Mhm.
Can I just ask you? Have you shown the predictions at all, Colin?
I have not, and by that I mean that I need to get that ready. So 1 second. Nope, we'll change the subject.
Yeah,
We'll
so
get back
what-
to the predictions in just a second.
Yeah, well, in a minute we'll show you where you are. What the results were this week.
But
And
one thing
what
I
I've-
didn't
and
get to do was so we'd all been talking about transfers and who was needed, and Ash kind of got left out. And Ash, if you could pick two positions where you'd want us to improve over the January window, what positions would you choose?
Definitely a centre back. I want to see a centre back on the 1st of January. Like, I'm not even kidding. It has to be really fast as possible, especially because January is going to be a difficult month for us, so we need a good defense. I think I wish for a striker, but I don't know if any team would let go of a good goal-scoring striker in Jan, especially considering their own season's prospects. So I see us getting a winger rather than a striker, but we do need a forward. Whatever it is that we decide to do, we do need a forward so that everyone can be played in the right forward positions. So those are the two things that I would see that we essentially need. As far as who the players would be, I know everyone was saying that they'd like something, they'd like to see something strange from Ange in the sense of not the usual big names, etc. But I would like to say that I wish that it wasn't a person from Asia, because then we'd be in the same problem again, because they would be gone for the Asia Cup, and then we'd buy someone that we couldn't use for a whole month. And I feel like we need players now as well. I know that we need them in the long term, but we need them now as well, and for our current season's prospects. So I hope that we do not buy someone from Asia. Yeah,
That's a good point, actually.
I think that we might, though, just because that's just a league, or not league, but a part of the world, and Ange knows so much about the J League. I think.
Yeah, but with Langer, sorry, Cole, to interrupt you, but with Langer, the Nordic leagues like the Eredivisie and all these leagues, they could be interesting as well. So and wherever he's been, that could be. Doesn't have to be the Asian League. And with the predicament that Ash was talking about, that they're going to be absent for a certain period of time, it might be a good investment to bring in someone from the Eredivisie, whoever that may be, or from somewhere else, not just the Asian market. So that may be long term, the Asian market, and obviously with publicity and sponsors and all of that will make sense as well.
Yeah.
But for now, someone exotic doesn't mean always have to mean Asia. It could be someone from Denmark. So
Very true.
that could
Very
be.
true.
So
And we are even we're at the point where, sorry, how are we on homegrown?
You're muted, Ellie.
Yeah, I was going to say, as long as
Oh,
they're
by the way, I
better
just
than
wanted to tell
Radson
Beer
and
Talk.
Bergwijn.
Absolutely, you can DM the predictions to me. No worries, man. But yeah, you guys. So I just wanted to ask kind of That's really it. Do you think that we're going to bring in? Do you think we're going to bring in the fellow from the Saudi Arabian League, Chris? Do you think he's coming?
Jota?
Who's that?
Yeah,
Jota.
Jota?
Jota.
Jota.
I think that's a given. I think that's going to happen.
No, I don't think so. And just because of the Celtic Ange connection, I read the other day, a few days ago, that Ange is doubting whether he can cut it in the EPL. So I don't actually think it's a given, to be honest. Does he have the quality? Is he a good player? I'm not doubting that one bit. But given on what has been said regarding Jota and can he cut it in EPL, I'm just going to put a question mark on that.
Okay, yeah.
If they're just going to sign, if they're going to sign for signing's sake, bring him in. But is it worth it? I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think.
I think he would be. I think he would be a
either.
free transfer. I don't think that we would end up spending any money to bring him in, right? It would be probably at least close to a free transfer. Because doesn't his contract end? No, I know what you're saying. Will he be effective?
No, when I say signing, I mean you have to sign. It doesn't mean spending or transfer. Signing, you have to sign to get them into your team. Doesn't mean you spend anything. It could be a loan as well, but that's what I mean. Sorry, a loan. That's fine.
I would like a second goalkeeper.
Except for we just gave an extension to Panhands.
I would like a second right back, a second left back, two more centre halves. I would like 3 more midfielders and 3 more attackers, so we can have a proper squad and get rid of the crap that we need to get rid of. How's that?
Yeah, fair enough.
That's good. That's good.
And I thought I was crazy. Jeez, look at that.
Anyway, guys, I've got to go because my
Ellie,
husband's home there.
Thank you, Ellie.
But thank you
Ellie,
very
yes.
much for having me on, and big love to everybody. Keep on Levy's case, all right?
Yes. We won't let off him. Don't worry.
Take
Bye,
care,
Ellie.
everybody.
Thanks, Ellie.
Bye,
Take
Ellie.
care.
Bye.
Thank you.
Right.
And then there was one less.
So goalkeeper we do need. I don't see that happening to the summer, and I don't see that happening in summer either, because I actually think Brandon Austin and Whiteman aren't good enough, right? From what I've seen of them. But
Forster just got a contract extension.
yeah, well, that's for next year, because I think Josh Keeley might be in our first team squad number 2 next year.
Well, that would be wonderful.
So do you think that? So with that, if that being the case, do you guys think that Austin and Whiteman will be something will happen? They'll either be sold or they'll get rid of them in the summer.
Well, look,
Most likely.
I think they're both around 23, 24 now. If they were going to make waves, it would have happened by now. They'd have jumped ahead of Forster, wouldn't they? They're not good enough. But, they're not. If they were good enough without seeing them, they would. We'd have heard a lot more about them before now. But people are pumping up Josh Keeley, and I think he could be the number 2. But I'm surmising that. It just seems logical. But what's on that, Chris?
Just sent Jose my predictions.
All right.
Right. Sorry, Kate. That's what I meant. I wanted a signing for every position. That's what I meant. So what you're saying there, that's exactly what I was meaning. I wanted a signing for every position, because then like that we'll have a squad of players, we'll have competition, and it means that we can rotate players and have the same level going forward. So that's exactly what I meant. Although it didn't come out that way, that's what I meant.
Mick Vickers, Lloyd Kelly's injured again, I think. And if he's going to be an injury-prone player, then we don't want him from Bournemouth, right? We've had enough injury-prone players in the past. Right?
So that's why I was saying it tongue-in-cheek. So there we go.
David Clark, I love this one. Nice puns. I'm always into puns. But yeah, Gordon was 6 goals, 3 assists. Is that a player that we could realistically get our hands on, though?
No, it's not. I think.
No, I don't think so. Why would he leave?
I think what he's talking about is that we're playing Newcastle on Sunday, and currently we've 6 goals and 3 assists. That's what I think he's referring to.
Gotcha. Wait, Beer Talk, are you serious? I heard he's heard that we have links to De Gea. That can't be true. You're pulling my leg, man. I almost fell for it. And then what's the points telling us? Oh, okay, Bailey with 5 goals and 3 assists, wingers with end products. He's just comparing him to Kulu. Comparing him with Kulu, I guess.
There were rumours of Gaya going to Newcastle because Nick Pope's out for a few months with an injury, isn't he now? So I mean, he might be going there.
That might make
Yeah,
sense,
That would
actually.
be.
I heard that. I see that rumour. Yeah, I see it, but how accurate these rumours are, who knows? But it would make sense if Pope's out. I don't know. Oh, they've got Dubrov. What is he? Is the other?
Dubrovka. He's a decent guy too. Hey, I want to have a go at Scott real quick. I definitely think that he's way too hard on Ange. Obviously, we're not going to know until a couple seasons in, but we talked before about when Arsenal went through their rebuild and they had Arteta and how he finished in such poor positions his first couple seasons, and the football didn't look anywhere nearly as good as our football looks. So I just want to know, I guess, do you think that Arteta is a championship level manager, and why do you hate Postecoglou so much? Boom, there's my question, and just to get that out there. Scott really seems to not like the man.
Let me ask the panel, and I'll start with you, Leo, because you're above, you're right next to me. Right, what do you think is going to happen at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Sunday? What are your thoughts?
Are you asking me?
No, I'm asking Leo.
Yeah.
I think my initial thoughts. I think we're probably going to draw. I mean, and I wanted to say lose, but I mean, we're gonna have. I mean, if we could go out there and capitalize on our chances, Jose, then we're capable of doing any team, even with this backup squad. We seen that against City, right? Although City were not at their best, they were not at their treble, their treble level, but they were
treble level. Love that.
Yeah, their treble level, but they're still, a very, very good team, and we were literally scrapping with them to the very end in a game where it could have went either way, right? It was a draw, but that's fair. That's a good result. And if we're able to do that because it was the tactics of the manager, I believe, and the performance of the team that gave us that result, we're able to beat any team, then why can't we do that to Newcastle? And Newcastle, we were just talking about this a while ago. They're not on their best of their best of form either, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Yeah, because they could come into us and Dr. Tottenham it. So, look, Jose, I'm just gonna hope for the best and prepare for the worst, right? Because that's just how it needs to be for this time as a Spurs fan. Because it is a process, and until we have our best squad, these results are 50-50 against any team, 50-50.
Okay, so what I'll say to you then, Leo, I'm going to open it up a bit more, and I'm going to say to you, does he make any changes from the starting lineup yesterday?
I hope he goes back to the team that we played against City.
So you're putting Kulu back in the middle, and you're putting Hill on the left.
Yeah.
Okay. Ash, same question to you. What do you think of the weekend, and what would your preferred lineup, or what do you think the lineup will be at the weekend? You're on mute.
I'm actually, I was quite confident about the Newcastle game. I don't know where baseless confidence, but I was confident about it. But now I worry after Ange's conference, his press conference, because he did say that Sonny was a bit sore, but he also said that 2 or 3 other players got knocks, but he didn't mention who it was. So it depends on which players we have out, because I mean, we're thin to begin with. So if there's somebody important that's out, including Sonny, I mean, Sonny is our only goal threat at this point of time. So I would like to see who's available, but in the ideal situation, I'd like to see Kulu back in the midfield. I do not want to see him as a winger. He should be in the midfield. That's his position. He's proven that now. Maybe I don't know what that means for the wing. Does that mean we just have to risk starting Hill on the wing, even though he gets bullied? It's possible that he might get less bullied by Newcastle than he would by West Ham. I mean, I'm just basing this on pure belief at this point, but also because Newcastle have their own injuries and problems, so it's possible that they won't risk coming at us in a very physical battle because they'd be scared of getting injured as well. So I'm hoping that because of that, we could just play Hill there and then hope for the best because we need to fill that spot, but we don't want Kulu to be a winger. So yeah,
Yeah,
apart
I
from
think Hill would do well. I think Hill would do well against Newcastle. That's a good
Yeah.
shout.
So, same question to you, Chris.
I want to go back to something that you said before, Jose, when you entered. You said that Højbjerg, Kulu were not playing in their positions. I don't know because I only watched it on
What
the
I said is when I saw
Yeah.
the lineup yesterday, Chris, before the
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
the lineup
Okay.
was announced. I became deflated when I saw the lineup an hour before the match because I saw that Hill had been taken out. Obviously, Højbjerg has been pushed up, and Kulu was pushed back to the wing. Højbjerg was brought into the midfield, and that I was deflated as soon as I saw the lineup yesterday.
Okay.
That's what I was saying.
Right, I got you.
Sorry.
I got you. Right, yeah, no, that's fine because I misunderstood then. Yeah, because the app that I saw the lineup on was that Kulu was on the left and Højbjerg was centre mid. So playing in a two, in a double pivot. Yeah, as Ash. I mean, Ash, you're beating me to everything. You're saying everything 100%, Ash. It all depends on what you've got available. What I'd like to see, the best quality players who've got that make the correct decisions and that can put the ball away. Obviously, that's dream world, but barring suspensions and injuries, whoever's available, is Kulu a better number 10 than he is a winger? Yeah, I haven't seen enough, but possibly yes, from what you're saying. I think that I concur with Leo. I'm concurring with a lot of people. I'm actually surplus to requirements because I just feel the same as everyone else here. Leo, I think it's going to be a draw because Newcastle are not on their best moment. We're in a slump, so I think the most fair result would be I put 2-2 down on the prediction. So I'm going with the draw because of the moment that the both teams are in. But it could be anything. But I think the 2-2 or a draw at least would be a fair result.
And you keeping the same lineup, Chris?
I can't remember what the lineup was, but
okay. So yesterday the back four was Porro, Romero, Davies, and Udogie. The midfield three yesterday was Bissouma, Lo Celso, Højbjerg, and the front three was Johnson, Son, and Kulu. But against Man City, it was the midfield three was Lo Celso, Bissouma, Kulu, and the front three were Hill, Son, Johnson.
No, I like the first one, not the one now.
So the first one's what we played with yesterday.
Yeah, I think Sarr came off the bench, didn't he, yesterday?
Yeah, but Sarr came off the bench.
So I don't know why Sarr came off the bench unless he was injured.
Yeah, he's just come back from
injury. Right, so
a mystery injury. No one knows really what it is.
If Sarr is available, Sarr's out, and Sarr's in for Højbjerg. For me. Okay. Regardless of whether Højbjerg is playing well or not, Lo Celso, he's obviously got the last pass. He's got a good eye, which will be good for breaking for in between passes in between lines. And I'm not a big fan of Gio. I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm just not. And I don't want him anywhere near Barcelona. I don't want anywhere. I don't even want him in the same country. I just do not want him. But if Xavi sees anything positive for it, well, then that's up to him. But it'll be our downfall. So I would have Bis, Gio, and Sarr, and then Kulu on the wing, unfortunately, or something, because you can't have four midfielders in this formation, the 4-3-3 that we're playing. So,
well, I would I mean, I guess you can't. I guess you can't have four midfielders, but our midfielders don't exactly spread the width anyway. You know what I mean? They're not exactly wide forwards. So I mean, you might be able to make it work.
You might be able to, but if you're sticking to a 4-3-3, that implicitly says that you're not having those a four midfielder in a three midfield formation.
Right. So I guess what I'm saying is one would have to be stuck up at one would have to be stuck up at the wing, kind of out of position technically. Yeah.
Unless you technically play a 4-5-1, which means that you do have Kulu as a wide midfielder and not as an attacking winger, as a winger, which would be a forward. So Do you know what I mean? But that's just
Yeah,
fine
that would
lines.
be awesome. That would be
It-
awesome. But we
yeah,
don't know. I mean,
that-
that would involve Big Ange changing Big Ange's tactics, and
Exactly,
I don't think
yes.
he's going to do much of
The
that.
only
So,
difference,
yeah.
the only difference is that in a 4-5-1, you don't play as attacking on the wings, right? You have a more contention, and in a 4-3-3, the wide players are further up the pitch. That's the only difference. You give more width, and that's basically it. More contention on the width in a 4-5-1 than a 4-3-3. That's the only difference. Now,
And
however you play on match day is it depends. So,
And now going over to the voice of reason, Adrian.
I would be, if I was Ange, I'd be very tempted to play Gill instead of Johnson from the start. He hasn't impressed me at all, Johnson. And I'd keep the same midfield. I'd still keep Kulu out on the right, because to bring it in, you've got to sacrifice a midfielder. So he's, even though we've got injuries, he's spoilt for choice. But a question for you guys, something for you to think on, right? Midweek, Newcastle have got a must-win Champions League game, and they're playing us Sunday. So I'm definitely going for a Spurs win. I think
point.
that works for us, because although they've got injuries as well, Champions League, so much money. I think Eddie Howe will have one eye on that game midweek. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but I would if we were in the Champions League, even though we wouldn't win it. But I mean, so, and I think that game, I think we're going to sneak this game. I think we're going to sneak it.
I think so, too.
So I'd go with the same back four as we know. We know we can Vicarian go. Then it'd be Lo Celso, Sarr, and Basuma, with Højbjerg on standby in case Basuma. He got a bit better. He was a bit better in that game. Well, actually, it's only in the final third that we were poor. I mean, we challenged so well and won so many balls against them. I mean,
Yeah, we just literally couldn't. We just literally
Yeah,
weren't
so
taking shots or something.
a disappointing result, a draw or a defeat, always goes down a lot worse with the fan base than what you actually see. I mean, I see a lot of positives there. All right, Udogie mix up with Costas the game with Vicario, but he's 20. You got him. I mean, like when we've got young players like him, when you've got Johnson who's 22, you've got Van der Ven who's 22, and Decky's only 23. These players will not always make the right decision. They will make mistakes because they're young, but the potential's there. I mean, I think Decky's got a tremendous ceiling as a number 10, but this is what Ange's got to sort out, because then you've got to leave players out. So, but that's his job. That's why he gets paid the big bucks, isn't it? So I think I'll go for a 2-0 Spurs against Newcastle.
Boom. Boom.
Colin,
Great points, Adrian.
Colin.
Great points.
Same to you, Colin. Same question. I'm going to ask you as well, mate.
Yeah, thank you. So I don't know. I think that I don't know. I wasn't sold at all. You'll remember on our show, a lot of times you said, we need to move Kulu to the 10, and I was like, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see him as a 10. I don't think he can make that final pass. I just don't think he's suited for it. And then we saw it, and I was like, wow, okay, never mind. I'm sold. I'm all the way on the Kulu as a midfielder train now. His weaknesses are just so much less of a problem there. And then the things that he excels at are even more important there. His speed, you don't have to be lightning quick. His ability to hold off a defender, to shrug past a defender, often leads to a pass in the final third or an opportunity on goal himself. I just think it highlights his strengths, and then his weaknesses aren't as highlighted. So I think that you definitely need to have Kulu in the midfield playing the James Maddison role. And then, I'd like to see. I think this is going to sound stupid, but I'd like to see. It's what I want to see Johnson on the right. I want to see Lo Celso on the left, and then Sonny up front. I want to switch it around, and I want to see Lo Celso on the left wing. Do I think that'll happen? Absolutely not. But I think that lineup could definitely do things in the midfield area, and we would not really be struggling so much with chance creation and shot creation. But do I think that'll happen? No. We'll most likely see that same thing, but with Hill instead of Lo Celso, I would think. And then, yeah. So that's really all I would. I want to see that attacking part of the lineup really bad, and then the defense kind of picks itself, right? Because you're not going to play You know what I mean? You're not going to play anybody except for Ben Davis in the middle with Romero. We know Porro, and Porro and Destiny will play left and right back. So, yeah, it picks itself pretty much, but I just want to see Kulu back in the midfield and in his place. I would like to see Lo Celso on the wing.
Okay, so I think Adrian's brought up. You've all brought up great points and yeah, differing thoughts on that. My thoughts are Adrian's like really found something there that Newcastle. It's a must win. It's the last game in the Champions League qualifiers. It's a must win for Newcastle to have any chance of getting through to the next round, which gives them lots and lots and lots of money and revenue for going through to the last 16. Also, I did say earlier, I watched Everton last night versus Newcastle. Newcastle were absolutely on the floor. They were knackered completely because they've been playing with the same 11 week in, week out because they've not brought their youngsters. The youngsters were all on the bench. So therefore, I think that plays into our hands for Sunday as well. Now, the thing about the presser earlier, I think it was Ash. Was it you that said about Sonny? And that he'd also said 2 or 3 other players. Okay, so what he said Sonny's got a back thingy, and he hasn't seen him yet since last night, so he hasn't been assessed yet, right? But the other players, he said 2 or 3 had also taken minor knocks. They haven't been assessed, but his feeling, without being a medical expert, was that they'd be all right. So, with that being said, if I know that if I'm going to pick a team without Son, I'm going to presume Son's injured, all right? And my team would be the same back 4 that started yesterday. In midfield, I'd give Bissouma the last chance. So Bissouma's in my midfield with Lo Celso and Kulu. I'm playing Richie on the left. I'm playing Brennan on the right, and I'm playing Veliz down the middle. That's my team if I had to pick a team for Sunday. Because I think
you got minerals for picking that team, man.
Veliz is a big boy. He's a unit.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you do the crossfield passes, Richie should have the beating of Trippier in the air. There's no doubt about it. On the floor, their left back, I can't remember who played from there. Oh no, their left back's not bad. Livramento is right footed and he played left back, but he looks quite quick. So I will say that he looked quick yesterday, Livramento. But their centre halves, Lascelles picked up an injury yesterday. If he's out, then the replacement is Emil Kraft, who's hardly kicked the ball for Newcastle in the last 18 months. So Emil Kraft and the other guy, Shah. And what makes me laugh about Shah is I remember Shah playing at Deportivo, which is my team in Spain. And Shah didn't look that great at all at Deportivo, and yet he's playing at Newcastle. Yeah. So
no one does, Jose. No one does.
I can't understand.
Jose, is Sven Botman injured then?
Yeah, Botman's out. Botman's out for ages. They've got 11 injuries.
Good. He's 6'5". Good.
That's what I'm saying.
But Jose, I would say that Newcastle are perhaps the best drill team in the Premier League. Like, I could put the lunch lady on the pitch and she would know exactly where to play and how to play. Eddie Howe's just drilled that team to perfection, which is why they did so well and are doing so well despite their injuries. I mean, they did lose the last game, but they've coped really well with those injuries. So I think that we should give them that benefit of doubt. And I do think I agree with Daniel. I think Isak and Gordon are very, very dangerous players. I still think we can win this game, but let's not forget that Newcastle are
very good point. And Ash, what do you think as Spurs?
Ash, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with anything you said, Ash, earlier and now. The only thing is, I watched Everton Newcastle yesterday, and I saw the players. They were on the floor because they've played the same. Because of their injuries, they've played the same 11 week in, week out. Now they're not doing what we're doing. They're playing in a European competition as well, so they've had more games. They are absolutely knackered. They were down yesterday on their knees, and hence why the mistakes occurred, which allowed Everton to score the 3 goals at the end of the game. Now, to me, the only thing I'm saying is that with them, if they've got their eye on the prize of wanting to go further in Europe, then they're going to have to save some players or save themselves for the midweek game rather than our game. So there's a few things that do go in our favour. I'm not dismissing. I think Newcastle have done wonderfully well with what they've done with all the injuries they've got.
And Daniel E said exactly what Ash said too. That even with Newcastle's injuries, they still got their main threats available. So Daniel E, big up.
Well,
They're
I'm
on
gonna
the
go.
same page. Chris,
take
Time
care.
to go.
See you later.
we'll put up your
Thank-
link, Chris, and
Cheers.
plug your channel. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you
everybody.
very much.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you,
See
Chris.
later, mate.
Big
Bye.
love,
Take care,
mate.
everybody. Bye.
Peace. Take care.
Right. So Colin, did you not have you got the tables and the predictions from last week?
I
Because
do. Yeah, you
can
ready?
you bring them up so we can show people? And it will be one of those that we'll do it through whatever links and put it on after the show and whoever wants to enter.
So
Because
let me
otherwise-
put the predictions up first because I only have that up right now and I still need to get the table.
No
up, so.
tienes las gafas, Leo.
No, aquí los tengo, nomás que refleja mucho la luz.
I forgot you
Ah,
guys
vale,
can
vale.
both speak Spanish. Oh,
Yeah.
¿Qué?
Nada.
Me gusta
What do you like? ¿Te gusta qué? ¿Qué te gusta?
football.
Yeah.
Fútbol. ¿Normal o de sala? Futsal or football?
How do you say both?
Ambos.
Ambos? Is that what you said? Ambos?
Yep.
Okay, see, I took Spanish up until Spanish 3 in high school, but you can tell I cheated. I passed, but I did not really know anything. Okay, so I'm saving. So right now, here, let's put up everybody's guesses. I've got that ready to go. Let me get the comment off the screen here. Everybody in the comments, thanks for being here. You guys are the shiznit. We appreciate you all. The comments have had lots of cool people in them. I think it's because of all the cool people on our show. Big thanks to all of them again. I know that some of them have left, but Ash, I know it's really late for you. Thank you so much for being on. If you got to go, if you're getting sleepy, you let us know. But I don't see us going much longer.
I mean,
but,
I would you can see my eyes closing on camera.
You want to? Yeah, go. Hey, get some sleep if you need to
Right,
go.
so
All
Ash,
good.
I've put it into the group. So if you want to do your predictions, they're in the group, all right? And then you just put.
Yeah,
your
I will.
names.
For sure. Yeah.
Cool.
Perfect.
Okay. Ash,
Perfect.
thank you very much.
Thanks for having
Thank
me
you.
on.
Good
Hey,
night. Have a
thank
good
you for
sleep,
being on.
Ash.
Yep.
Yeah. Bye,
All right,
Leo.
everybody.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
See you, Ash. Thanks, everybody. Ash is awesome, and we got to talk her into getting her own channel. She's gonna do it. I think. We'd all love to see it. So. Anyway, that was the wonderful Ash P. Again, Ash, thanks for being on the show. If you still have this on in the background or something, we appreciate you. Here are the scores from last week, or here's everybody's guesses. I mean to say from last week. If you see,
So last week, the biggest mover was Haz from Hasbro TV. Haz from Southview Coys. He got 2 correct predictions, and 2, 3, and he got 4 results that went the right way. I think he was the biggest mover last week.
a lot of orange on there, though. You'll notice a lot of people had good predictions.
there
Josh from Speaking Spurs, man, he got nearly every fixture correct.
6. He got 6 correct, but not the prediction, but the correct way the result went.
I just seen where I'm at in the table. I'm sorry.
Oh, has the table come up?
Oh,
No, I haven't
thought
put up the
that-
table.
Oh, okay.
No.
I'm sorry.
No,
I thought that
this
was
is
the
just-
table. I
No,
was
this is just-
yup,
this is
sounds
just
about
your-
right, you guys.
So this is just what you've got right. You got
Yeah,
one
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So you got
Okay.
the Arsenal were going to win away at Luton. Is Ben there? Right, Ben. Yeah, Ben is a bit further up. Ben said to us last week, because for those people that know Ben Kaufman, Ben does the three Spurs boys show, and Ben tries to pride himself on getting 0 points. And so he said to me, he sent me a message and said, because he hadn't given me the last 2 predictions, he sent me a message and said, I'm going to go and try and get 0. And I said to Ben, there is no way in the predictions that you'll get 0, because even if you get the score wrong, but you've gone the right way, you'll still score a point. So Ben scored 3 points. So there's no way that he was going to get a 0 in this. Where's Adrian? Adrian, because you're still on the show. Adrian got 1 correct prediction and 2 correct scores.
Nice job, Adrian.
So I picked up
Big
points
love.
there.
Big love, Adrian. You're the man, bro.
There was a lot of movers. Where's your mum? Your mum did quite well this week. Right, yeah. So your mum got 1 correct prediction and 4 scores.
Nice job, Mom. Appreciate you, Mom, making me look smart. I come from good stock. She's a smart
Yeah,
lady. See,
good genes there, yeah.
she knows stuff. Yeah,
Soji
exactly.
did exactly the same as your mum. Who else we got? Jacob got 1 correct prediction and 2 scores.
Jacob.
Chris Meta Football got 1 correct prediction and 1, 2, 3, 4 scores. Top Spurs got the same, 1 correct prediction and 4 scores. I got 1 correct prediction and 5 scores. Bobby K has got 4 scores.
4 scores than 7 years ago.
Scores. Brian Daigle, because he never said to me, because Brian never sent me the fixtures. Brian always says, if I don't send them to you, you put me down for Desmond's for every game. There was no Desmond's last week, so Brian didn't score a point, I'm afraid.
Unfortunate.
Kate's got 2 correct predictions and 3 scores.
No, shut Kate. That's a good one. That's a high scorer.
Jim ended up with 3. Nita 1 correct prediction and 4 scores.
4 scores than 7 years ago.
Chris Peters got 1 correct prediction and 3 scores.
My dude, Chris.
Rakesh got a correct score and a prediction.
Who's ready for the table?
Yeah, go to the table because there's loads of people here. So, but there were movers. So
there were.
Chris Meta Football stays on top. I closed the gap on Chris Peters by a point. Top Spurs is up there as well again. Ellie, Kate has moved in front of Bobby K.
Leo's not going to be happy where he is, but he's got time to fix it.
Yeah, but the thing is, Leo's only just started, so
right.
Leo's only had 1 week worth of predictions, and he's already scored 6 points. So at the end of the day, things can change. So Nita overtook Dry Roasted Peanut. You dropped down 1 place, if I can remember rightly. Colin,
suck it, Dry Roast Peanut.
Colin, have you gone up? Because you're now 10th.
I think I was 10th last time. I think I've just stayed in the same spot.
10th. Wayne Bonner's dropped out. Wayne Bonner's 11th. Your mum's jumped up 2 spots.
Boom. She kept complaining about being in 10th, so I'm glad that she's 14th.
Beer Talk may have remained the same. Jim's dropped down. Josh from Speaking Spurs has jumped up. Adrian has jumped up. Jacob has jumped up. Lee Smithy Smith, Sheree has. Even Dave the Irish Hotspur's jumped up. Soji's jumped up. Rakesh has jumped up. Brian has dropped. Danny has jumped up. And then I can't see this.
I liked, real quick, I just like Scott's comment. Jose talking up Julie right in front of Colin, laughing face. Pretty good. Love it. All good banter.
So you got people further down that have only just been playing for a week. So now what's the point? You haven't played many games. That's all it is. So you got Alex Hilton's done 1 week. Mile High Hotspur's done a week. Fitzy's done a full week now. Danny did a full week and he's gone already in the 25th. Who have you got underneath Mile High Hotspur?
I don't think there's. I think let me check the master.
There's 36 places.
Well, oh wow, okay, yeah. Well, I have that here.
So that's what you can see there. I'll remind you.
Mile High Hotspur. We've got Tom Markkinen underneath. Who's news is 31st.
So you've got Cole Simpson's on 6 points behind Mile High, but Mile High is above him. You've got What's the Point has got 6 points, but What's the Point is two places below because What's the Point has got 6 predictions and no correct. But because Mile High's got 1 correct, the correct take precedence. But What's the Point's on 6? Boris Britt's on 6. Nick Brown, who played the first week last week's on 5. Tom Markham is on 5. Who's News is on 5. And Ben is on 3. So you've got 36 positions there.
Wow, we're doing good. We got a lot of people involved, and everybody, please stay involved. Like my man Jose was saying, you could jump up in the table any week. Any week could be your week. You get a couple scores correct, and man, you're right there at the top. So yeah, keep at it, everybody. We'll make sure we get the predictions in for this weekend on Friday, of course, as we always do. But yeah, everybody, that's where we stand.
So today's predictions will be after the show. If people can just leave their predictions on in the comment underneath the stream once it's finished, then we'll take them from there.
Exactly.
I'll take them and I'll load them all up like I normally do. Other than that, by any other means, I've received Chris Peters already because he's already texted me them. and I've received. Who else have I received? Yeah, I've received Chris Peters, and Chris Meta Football has sent me his as well. So we'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody, just get them to us in your preferred way. You know,
And we will
if
put
it's
them on.
if it's via text, if it's WhatsApp, if it's leaving a comment on one of our videos, shoot, we watch it all. Leave a comment on an old video, we'll find it there. Get your predictions in, we'll find them, we'll get them entered in. And when I say we, I mean Jose, because he does all the hard work for this. So thank you, Jose, for all the work you do for our Fun Predictions League. We appreciate you, bud. And that's the prediction league in a nutshell, guys.
And I'm gonna have to start going to make dinner soon.
I've got to start work in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, yeah.
Listen,
so
let me say again, because the others have left, but I'm going to thank Ellie, Ash, Chris for coming on, and thank you to Leo, Adrian. Leo, I've said to you I wanted to get you on the show, and it's only because I saw the comment that said that you weren't working today that I thought, right, I'm asking him to come on. So I'm really happy that you came on, Leo, because I've been wanting to get you on for ages. So thank you very much.
Yeah,
man, it's a pleasure to be on here with you guys.
I'm trying to find I had a comment for your channel, but I can't find it. But I got it right.
Everybody on the chat as well.
Dude, the chat was bumping today, so thank you everybody for coming in. I really do appreciate everyone.
Tospers, if you can't message me, right, then if you can't message me, I'm going to give you both of my Twitter handles, because one of them obviously is if for some reason you can't get them through to that one, try this one. I'm going to put it in there for you.
Okay, so I just threw Leo's in the chat though, Leo's link, and then here is the link. Here is the link for Kate, and Ellie, and so make sure you get on that one as well. That's been posted to both channels. But guys, we've had loads of people in today. I really hope everybody has subscribed. Hit that like button. Definitely hit the like button at least. And if you like the content, subscribe. I hope some of the people from other channels that were in here like trolling, hope they subscribe, because they were like nice trolls. You know, they weren't like too bad. I can handle a nice some nice banter, and maybe, you know, they could be on the show eventually, as long as.
Top first, try the one that I've just put down there at the bottom.
There we go. Boom. And everybody, here is the link to Leo's channel. YouTube.com/@MileHighHotspur1882. The glorious year when our glorious team was founded.
John Fitz, I know that you play as well. So yeah, at the end of the stream, if you're not doing it any other way, you can always go to the end of the stream and leave a comment and leave your predictions there, and I'll add them all on. Yeah.
Are we frozen?
No, I'm still speaking.
Did we freeze? Okay.
Estoy hablando. ¿Qué te pasa?
Sí.
Sí, vale, está bien. Right. So thank you very much, Adrian, and thank you very much, Leo. Any final words, Adrian?
Not really. We'll get over this bump. The players will come back. You know what I mean? Like, so we'll be fine. It's just a win. You know, I'm sure most fans would take a squeaky bum 1-0 win on Sunday. But I've gone for 2-0.
I love how the team loses 2 matches in a row, and we go from being good to shit, and everyone's like, "Oh no, Newcastle's going to beat us." When a couple of games ago, everyone would have said, "We're going to spank Newcastle."
Well, it's 1 point in 5 games we've got in there. 1 point in 5. So in 5 games, 1 point in 15. So that looks a lot worse, doesn't it, than it really is?
Well,
I mean,
yet
the last 2 games we lost, we played okay. It's just the front 3, you know.
I'm bouncing on my scores, but my scores are a bit bigger than any scores I've heard today for Sunday. But I'm bouncing on which one I'm going to put in.
I'll go first.
No, I'm not. I'm not done it yet, because I'm still bouncing between 2 of them that I'm going to put in. But
hey, you guys.
My score's going to be higher, bro. And Leo, anything final you got to say, mate?
Just like I was over on Ben's show earlier today, and I ended up saying just how I do some volunteering here in Denver, and if anybody's out there, I highly advise you to do some help however you can in your community. It goes a long ways. Apart from this football community that we have, like, we all belong to an actual community where we live at, and it's always good to be able to give back, right? Because there's people that definitely are in worse situations. We're sitting here sometimes complaining about a result right? And
People,
there's people that
yeah.
don't even have a house, and it's
Fuck.
about to snow
Yeah,
here in
dude.
Denver, right?
Yeah, dude.
And
for sure.
I'm having a bad day because my team lost. So
It does put things into
there's bigger
perspective
things
for
than
sure.
football. Yeah, there's bigger things than football, right? But let's just hope that come Sunday, we're talking about a victory. But yeah, big up to you guys.
Yeah, it's
And,
amazing.
thanks
the
for
work
having
you
me
do.
on.
Yeah, it's amazing the work you do, and a lot of the people within the community, I know that you're on our chat, have commented about how great the work that you're doing and how we're all behind what you do, and yeah, you do really well, Leo, mate.
I appreciate you guys.
We got you, man. We appreciate you. And yeah, that's a good one to end on. And Leo, I also want to mention, I did it on my channel a long time ago. It's been over a year now, but I did a show about mental health and like men's mental health in particular. But it's for everybody. But you know how men like particularly like don't seek treatment and like kind of bottle things up. And I want to do another one just because it's been so long, and I just kind of want to talk to people about it and just have sort of a thing. And if you want to be part of that, let me know. I'll talk to you more about that. But I just also wanted to kind of throw out to everybody. There might be like a more serious, but also I think fun show focused on like mental health and men's mental health. Just because it's a good thing to talk about. And if you want to be part of that, let me know.
I do, man. I got tons to say.
Cool.
Lovely. Well, we'll all get together more. But everybody, again, thank you so much for watching. Leo, again, thank you for being a good dude and inspiring other people to be good dudes and dudettes. And yeah.
And Adrian, you keep supporting them Spurs. You keep shouting for me at that stadium, son.
That's right.
And yes, absolutely. Adrian, thank you for being here too, my friend. Big love. Everybody, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on.
And thank you, everyone. Later. Ooh, oh, the tattoo is